Hi, everybody. It's Gene Simmons, and you're not, and you're listening to the Potter Than Hell podcast with Steve, BC, BB, and Dylan. But you knew that, didn't you?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is your last stop on the crazy train of hard rock and heavy metal. So sit back, buckle in, and hang on. Here we go.
Hello, Potter Than Hellions. Welcome back to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is Steve, your host, and joining me this week is
BC.
And on his left is
BB.
And across from him on the keyboards tonight is
Dylan.
Hey, nice ghost shirt, Dylan.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah.
Is it new?
Well, yeah, it came in when we came back from vacation.
Oh, cool.
It's for those listening at home. It's a limited edition shirt that was basically a crossover between Ghost and DC Comics. They did a bunch of comic covers, variants where different metal artists are on the cover. So Ozzy's on one, and Dream Theater, I think Sepultura, Megadeth, and I got the Ghost one.
Did you get the Dream Theater one? BC?
I don't know if the other bands were doing it. Ghost, I think, was the only one that was offering it as a shirt. So I jumped on that.
What the fuck's up with Dream Theater, BC? Come on.
Hey, but they're putting out Master Puppets, like their live version of Master Puppets. Finally,
All right, that'd be cool.
So that's.
I mean, it would have been better if they did Ride the Lightning, but
well,
Master Puppets will be okay.
And a new album.
Yeah, they have a new album coming out as well.
That's out, like two, right? There's like that live bootleg thing or whatever.
Well, yeah, there's
the
the live albums.
Studio coming up.
Yeah, there's a studio album.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I think it's October. Yeah.
Did they just release the picture of the album cover?
Yeah,
It's like with that rock in between the two rocks or whatever.
Yeah.
One song's 27 minutes long. I'm like, yes.
Yes. Epic, bitches.
yeah. The last
epic.
song is 20 minutes. I'm like, oh, there's only 7 songs. That I know what that means.
7 songs. The shortest song is 6.5 minutes.
Side 4, song 1.
There's
20
one
minutes.
that's there's one that's just shy of 11 minutes and just shy of 21 minutes.
I mean, Distance Over Time was a really good album. Their last one that they released. So hopefully they keep the trend up.
And actually, in a couple minutes, we're going to talk about long songs.
Oh yeah.
All right. Yeah, so Dylan and I were on vacation last week, so that's why you guys got part 2 of the double live thing. We did BB's and Dylan's albums, right?
Yep, those were the
So we
last
did
episode.
Thin Lizzy, Live and Dangerous, and we did... What'd you do?
I have no clue.
Night Ranger.
Night
the
Ranger.
Night Ranger.
The Night Ranger in Chicago. Yeah. I'm like, what? I don't know.
And it's funny, BB kind of fucked me on that one because I was gonna before we were planning on. We went to Chicago for a week. My wife Dylan and Carson. What I was gonna suggest to Dylan, I was gonna suggest that we record a bonus episode in Chicago, and my whole mind was okay. Night Ranger did this fucking live album in Chicago, and it was like 35 years. And I'm like, okay, we'll do that, and I'll say to Dylan, bring the microphone, and I'll spring it on you right before we go. And literally that day, BB texts me, my double live album is the Night Ranger, 35 years in live in Chicago. I'm like, fuck! But I'm like, that's okay. So it saved us from recording out there, which probably wouldn't have...
I gave you a day off, Mike.
I appreciate it. We probably wouldn't have been as good with our other travelers as well. So, but it worked out good.
Now,
2 great albums.
Did they record like right in? Did they record at the Chicago Theater? Like
No,
right
the
where
House
we
of
were-
Blues.
House of Blues. Well,
Yeah.
we were close to there too.
Yeah, we were like a block away from there.
Yeah, so we were really
Well, that's
close
cool.
to it. So
Yeah.
it would have been a great tie-in, but
Yeah.
unfortunately,
We're sitting in front of the House of Blues.
yeah, we're recording right where they
That would have
recorded
been a little
it.
loud doing it there. You think it was bad wanting to record on a porch here. Yeah. So, yeah, we had a great time in Chicago. We saw a White Sox game, a Cubs game, did a whole bunch of stuff there. Ate like insane people. But we had a good trip, and the double live album episode was cool. Dylan's album was, I'll tell you what.
It was good.
There was a lot of freaking phenomenal guitar playing on there. Drums. The only bad
bass?
thing was Phil Lynott on there
No,
singing.
but I was gonna say he makes up for it with his bass.
He does, and there's some bass parts in that album. I'm like, holy shit! Like,
Yeah,
he wasn't just
how good he was.
Yeah, he wasn't just the guy singing, playing, just strumming along, but he had some really cool, bass shit going on there. And BB's album, the Night Ranger one, you can't go wrong with Night Ranger. Only one skipper on there for me, but BC was mad at me for that one too. But that's all right.
BC hasn't talked to him since.
I know. Fucker. Makes it difficult too when he changes shifts. You kind of want to know what's going on. BC's not talking to me. So we had a good time doing that, and thanks for tuning in, you guys, and interacting with us about it and stuff. Tonight is July 28th, 2021, And I'm gonna get the bad out of the way, then we'll get to the good. It's been a terrible week for our genre of music, with various players passing away. We have Jeff LaBar from Cinderella, Gary Corbett, that also played keyboards in Cinderella, played keyboards for Kiss as well, and many other bands as well. And that happened literally right after we recorded. So we didn't we recorded on the 13th. So we recorded 2 weeks ago. So a lot has happened since then. Rest in peace, guys. And then since then, actually, between today and last 3 days here, Joey Jordison, the I don't know, is he the original drummer in Slipknot?
Yeah, he was the
original drummer in
Slipknot.
Slipknot, with Wednesday 13,
Murder Dolls,
right?
yeah.
Murder Dolls.
And drum for Rob Zombie as well.
Drum for Rob Zombie. Mike Howe, the singer from Metal Church, also passed away. And then today, Dusty Hill from ZZ Top passed away as well. So it's just been one death after another. We're not getting any younger, and these guys, obviously the music we're listening to are much older than us when they recorded. So and I mean, actually, Joey Jordison was younger than all of us except for Dylan.
Well, you look at that little lineup there. That's a great
very
band.
young.
You got the
it's
keyboard, the guitar, drums, bass,
And
lead
vocals.
singer.
Yeah.
There's your
No shit.
there's your death band for the week.
I guess they needed a band somewhere.
Yeah,
Oh shit. Yeah, that's a good point, BB. So rest in peace, guys, and condolences to your friends and family and fans as well. So maybe we'll do it. Maybe I'll change the Gem song tonight.
Okay.
Do a little something different from one of them guys. So since then, actually, I think it was 2 days after we recorded, Iron Maiden released the new video and the information for the new album called Senjutsu. Is the new album. It's coming out on September 3rd. They released a video and song, Writing on the Wall. What'd you guys think of that, Dylan?
So, I like the album cover. It's really weird that the title is taken from Naruto, an anime manga that's super popular. That's the main thing that's known for. It's not really used too much in Japanese language from what I understand. So that's a little, But I thought the song was very different at first. I was very thrown off by how Western sounding it was at the beginning, and then it gets to
country and Western.
Yeah, country and Western, and then it gets really into it. I wish I watched the music video originally with the song, because I think I would have liked the song a lot better, because the music video is really cool. Done by a studio that actually I had seen them do music videos for the band Gorillaz, who were this virtual band. They've done music videos for them
It ends
before.
with a Z, right?
Yeah, Gorillaz with a Z. And it's a really good animation studio. And this it was really cool. I loved the cameos from the older Eddies from the other album covers as the Four Horsemen riding in on the motorcycles. Really cool story that Bruce Dickinson apparently came up with, according to the credits. I was vibing with the song a lot more watching the music video for sure.
What do you think, BC?
Dylan, when you first heard it, I was like, this is different.
Okay, now before you go any further, did anybody else hear the song for the first time just watching the video?
Yeah, I saw. I
Okay.
watched the video and the song. Yeah,
At the same time?
Yeah.
First time say... Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But I was more wasn't concentrating on the video part.
Yeah, you were listening to the
I
song.
was there in the song going, oh my, what the? I'm like, this is different, I mean, sometimes different is cool, sometimes not. But overall, I mean, like you said, then it started getting in more Maiden, I'm like, whew. Then I listened to the song a few more times. I think I went to watch the video one more time after that. But very cool. That was just the initial. I don't know what I was expecting to hear. But
Yeah.
But that wasn't it.
that was not it. Which I was very surprised. I like it.
yeah. I'm in the same boat with you guys. You don't realize it's Iron Maiden until about 41 seconds into the video, when I'm gonna assume that's Adrian Smith's guitar that has that certain Maiden sound to it.
I don't know. I initially I thought that when I heard the song, because there was you didn't know who wrote it or whatever, I thought it was going to be a Yannick song, because he has that Western Eastern type feel to a lot of his songs like the Alchemist and different songs, you get that flavor in there for him. And I really thought it was written by him and Steve Harris, but it's written by Adrian and Bruce. I mean, not to interrupt you, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
and even the solos, you don't know who's playing
what. But that's what it took, like 42 seconds into the video to you hear something Iron Maiden-ish, and you're like, wow, that's weird. But to like what Dylan said, like all little eddies like here and there, and the video is really cool. But it's just it brought me to almost like a Brave New World lyrics to like Somewhere in Time like guitar sound. It was a really good collaboration of, for me, old Maiden-ish kind of mashing with new Maiden. I really, really enjoy that song.
Yeah. I got to watch it actually like when it premiered. I was at work at the station and we didn't have any calls or anything, so I was just on YouTube and I'm like, oh shit, today's the Maiden thing. So I pulled the thing up and watched the countdown, and you literally had 2 minutes of a black screen with the words, the writing on the wall spelling out over like fucking 2 minutes long. I'm like, come on, Jesus Christ. But when it came on, I'm like, ooh, this is different. This sounds like a Yannick song. Bruce's voice sounded strong, I thought. Yeah. And I liked it. At first, I was like, this is really different. I'm like, people are going to either love this or fucking hate it. People are going to be like, what the fuck is this? Solos rip. And the thing about the solos is, Maiden, these days, you can usually say, okay, that's Adrian, that's Dave, that's Yannick. The first solo in that song, it has elements of Dave and Adrian. So I don't know who the fuck plays that first solo. But the video is cool. And there's another video on YouTube where it goes, there's all like Easter eggs through that whole video.
I saw a couple.
There's like, you see a picture of the burned up R101, the ship. You could see
there was a No Prayer for the Dying.
No Prayer for the Dying thing. There's the Killer's axe is on there from Killers.
Yeah. Well, he throws the axe too at the end. I'm like, oh shit! It's the as soon as that axe came out, I'm like, are they each going to be a different Eddie? That's so cool.
And each Four Horsemen is a different Eddie. One is the Book of Souls guy.
Power Slave, Somewhere in Time, and Killers.
So it's cool. It's got a lot of different elements in there. Crazy story. I like the donkey pulling the fucking big Cadillac with the big fat guy in it. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I think the solos rip. When we were getting ready to fly out to Chicago, I literally listened to that like 5 times when we were sitting on the tarmac waiting to take off. So I've really gotten to like the song more and more every time I've heard it. And the track listing is going to be Senjutsu. I'll give you the writers and the time. Smith Harris, 8:20. Stratego, Garris Harris, 4:59. Shortest song not the shortest song on the album. I'm sorry. Writing on the Wall, Smith Dickinson, 6:13. Lost in a Lost World, Harris only, 9:31. Days of Future Past, Smith Dickinson, 4:03. Shortest song on the album. The Time Machine, Garris Harris, 7:09. Darkest Hour, Smith Dickinson, 7:20. The last 3 songs are all Steve Harris songs, and he must have been after Empire of the Clouds. Fuck you, Bruce. I'm taking over the rest of this fucking album here. So you got Death of the Celts, 10:20. The Parchment, 12:39. Hell on Earth, 11:19. And in true Iron Maiden fashion, great band that takes care of their fans. It's coming out in several different ways. It's coming out standard 2 CD digipack, deluxe 2 CD book format, deluxe heavyweight 180 triple black vinyl, special edition triple silver and black marble vinyl from selected retailers, special edition triple red and black marble vinyl from selected retailers. That one's a Walmart exclusive. Super deluxe box set featuring CD, Blu-ray, and exclusive memorabilia. Digital album, streaming and download, which you're going to be able to get on iTunes anyways.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Don.
I wonder if Days of Future Past is going to be based off of the X-Men storyline. That'd be very cool.
I don't know.
If that would be...
there's not really much information out other than what they just gave you there.
That's what I figured, yeah. But that's because that's what I think of when I hear Days of Future Past, because that's very famously one of the seminal X-Men storylines where it's a dystopian future.
And you got to realize, too, this album was recorded back in 2019. So this is like really 2 years old for these guys.
Yeah.
And so it's weird too because they're going to be touring. They have tour dates rescheduled. So
Are they going to play?
are they going to? But how can they? If they're still billed as the Legacy of the Beast tour, so how can they really throw any of these songs in there? Because that set list is so set with
the pyro
different shit going
yeah.
on and backgrounds and stuff for every song. Because like the beginning of the concert's war, then it's religion, then it's like violence or something. The last part, so it's going to be weird to see how they do that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you got a brand new album out. But you're still doing the old tour, and how can you throw? You know what I mean? It's going to be weird.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they'll just do the handful of shows and then gear up for the tour for this one, which will be interesting to see. And speaking of iconic heavy metal bands as well, Judas Priest announced that they're having a Reflections box set come out. It's coming out in the fall. It's a 42 CD box set. Contains every single one of Judas Priest studio and live albums. From Rockarola to Firepower. In addition, 13 unreleased discs, 3 previously unheard live songs that are included in the set, as well as 5 previously unreleased stereo recordings. What else does it say here? And I'm just going to tell you, BB, I know you'll be getting it for Christmas.
Yes.
The set retail price is $479.98.
Oh, man.
You getting 2 of these?
I'll get 2.
He's going to get one
it.
and not open it, right?
There you go.
And then the other one to enjoy.
Yeah.
That's a little crazy. And they do have a double live vinyl version that has like the one album is like greatest hits stuff, and then the other one is like unreleased live stuff.
Okay.
I ordered that one. That was like $35 or something like that. So I ordered that, but I think I'm going to refrain from the box set proper probably. So I know I'm not a fan, I guess. And I didn't even get the super deluxe of the Maiden thing. I ordered the black vinyl, and I ordered the book CD part because that'll match up with my Book of Souls and the Book of Souls live ones, the last couple that they put out. So
I got the shirt.
You got to tell me what shirt you got so I don't get the same shirt. We'll look at it after.
I think it's
because I want to get one or two of them, but I don't want to get this. I don't want to copy off you, BC.
I
know everyone wants to be like BC, but
the album cover one. The
album
first
cover
one, there's the one, and then there's the one with the kind of clownish,
okay,
and then there's the other ones. It's the first one.
okay. I just didn't want to order the same one as you. Oh, speaking of, are we all going to see the Iron Maidens in September? Is everybody in?
Possibly. I gotta double check that.
Because our friend Kat is going to get a bus.
Peel it. Oh, cool.
So, all right. So I think I covered everything. Actually, I did not cover everything. And if you're listening to this today, on August 6th, this will be the pre-party day of Rockin' Pod, and I will be there at the pre-party. I will be there. I'll be there today, and I'll be there tomorrow, but I won't be there Sunday. I'll be leaving on Sunday. So, if you see me, come say hello. If you don't have tickets and you're in the Nashville area and you want to have a good time and, shoot the shit with us and a bunch of other podcasts, Sonny and Steven will be there. Our buddy Dave Hudson will be there. So we got a lot of stuff, going on, a lot of cool stuff. Get on the rockinpod.com because there's a shitload of cool guests. Greg Bissonette and Billy Sheehan. Dylan just informed me today. I don't know how I missed it if it's new. They're doing a panel on recording Eat 'Em and Smile, David Lee Roth album. So I have a list of albums I'm going to take with me to get signed by these for everybody that's there. And speaking of podcasts and Sonny and Steven, our own BB has branched out, and he was on the Grown Up Rock podcast. Yes. Came out 2 weeks ago when you're listening to this, actually. They reviewed 5150. The first Van Halen album without David Lee Roth. Just give us a quick rundown there, BB.
It was a good time with Steven and Sonny as always. Those guys have been on here numerous of times. But just went over 5150. A little ball bashing here and there as always. But really good time. If you guys are into Van Halen or Van Hagar or whatever you want to call it, definitely check that out. They are actually doing a whole Van Halen.
The whole catalog from 1 all the way up to I think 3.
I'm surprised you didn't get on that episode.
I know. I just kind of jumped on whatever.
Aren't you the only
Steven
person that likes that
in the
album
world?
In the world?
That's what I'm curious to see who they find.
Maybe they're getting
for
Gary
that.
Sharon on that for that one.
That could be, But yeah, we had a great time, and those guys are fun.
I must say, I listened to it.
Uh-oh.
You and Sonny suck. Steven is awesome.
Ooh.
Words that will never be uttered.
Ever again by anybody. It was
Dylan,
quite,
we already knew that going in. So
it was quite the Dave Bash Fest, I must say. But I enjoyed it though. It was fun. It gave me something to curse at and yell at. But you guys did have some good points. And Steven brought up a good point that for all the and I never thought of it that way. When Dave left Van Halen or whatever the hell transpired, depending on who you ask, when Dave was not in Van Halen anymore, Alex and Eddie talked a ton of shit about Dave. A ton of shit about Dave. You never heard Dave say anything bad about anybody in Van Halen.
No.
He did. And Steven, you were totally correct, my friend. Dave did take the high road there. And he said, too, if you listen to Ted Templeman's book, if you check it out, and Noel Monk's book, and Greg Renoff's book as well, that a lot of that shit turned out just not to be true, what they said. It was just, I think it was just to build Sammy up,
Yep.
and I liked how it was brought out as well, that and we didn't even talk about it when we did the albums, when we did our Vanuary or Jan Halen, that Sammy had a decision to make too, because his stuff, he just come off of VOA, and all his shit was just taken off too, and that's a fantastic. I love that album. That's a fantastic album, and so he had some decisions to make there too. I mean, he obviously made the right decision, but it was a good episode. I enjoyed it. So guys, check that out. So they do 5150 with our very own BB there. I don't know if you guys got a chance to listen to it yet or not.
Not yet, no.
BC? No. Okay, I know you'll be disappointed in our boy as well.
I'm sorry.
I know.
You're not going to talk to me now.
BB. All right. Anybody got anything else before we roll along here?
Nope.
No? Okay. I think I covered everything that I wanted to cover. It's been a long 2 weeks since we've recorded, and actually we're recording an hour later than we're supposed to because I was late to my own house, actually. All right, so what are we listening to, people? I'm going to go first this week so I can rest for a little bit. Yeah.
So you can continue talking.
I'm listening to the new Dark Monarchy album came out from our own buddy Mark Anthony Kay and Joe Bailey. They put that album out. It came out like a week or two ago. It's on Bandcamp. Check out those guys, Bandcamp, Dark Monarchy. It's their second album. The album's called All Roads Lead to Rome. Really cool, what you would expect from those guys. A lot of back and forth vocals. Like more hard rock oriented than the Project Gemini stuff, but still in that kind of vein. Very good. The new Resurrection Kings album I've been checking out, Skygazer. Very good album. That one is kick ass. Check that out. It's very, very Dio-like, very like heavier Whitesnake type stuff. And I've just had on the plane going to and from Chicago, I just downloaded some Iron Maiden. I checked out, I did Killers, Number of the Beast, Somewhere in Time, Peace of Mind. So I just did a little mishmash of Maiden there. BB, what do you got going?
Almost like what BC kind of does at the house. I kind of threw on a lot of YouTube the last couple weeks, and I watched a couple videos from Mammoth WVH. He put on his first concert last night, actually. There are only 200 people in this small club. Sounded great. Can't wait to actually hopefully get to see him out there. And I just watched the documentary of Woodstock 99, which I was at, and some crazy shit happened there that I somewhat remember. It was a little blurry back in 99, but a lot of YouTube and stuff. It's crazy. One of the bands we're going to talk about tonight, they did like a live, they called it In Your Living Room in Tokyo. Some good stuff there, so I'll be bringing that up later. But
Did you see yourself on the documentary?
I didn't.
No.
There's a lot of people there.
I know, but I'm sure someone's going to be watching like, holy shit.
Because Tom from the Shout Out Loudcast was there as well, and that's the first thing I asked him because he posted something. So I'm going back and forth text wise. I'm like, hey, did you see yourself? He's like, no.
Yeah, there's a
I'm
lot
like,
of fucking people there.
I saw BB beating the shit out of the guy next to the Metallica pit. I don't know what was going on.
Plus, you may not even recognize yourself back that far because it was 1999.
There are some pictures floating around Facebook of our adventures of
Your
Woodstock.
posse.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool. I'll have to look for them. How about you, BC? What do you got going?
I'm still on the YouTube kick because I have been unable to relax, enjoy music for the last God knows how long. So when I do get 5 minutes to sit down and just throw it on and some old shit. Like I watched all of the Moscow Music Peace Festival, fucking Union. I'm back in some clubs. You can find almost anything on YouTube, so I've been really overdosing on that lately.
All right. Fair enough. How about you, Dylan?
I've been listening to Coheed and Cambria released a new song called Shoulders. Really cool riff in it. I very much like it. And I was also listening to Volbeat released their cover of Don't Tread on Me for the Metallica's Blacklist covers album. Very much a Volbeat version of it that feels like a Volbeat song more so than it was a cover of a Metallica song. Very cool. And the thing that I'm most excited about, Foo Fighters released a half Bee Gees cover album, half live album of the songs for their new album. And the Bee Gees covers are actually really fucking good. They do a cover of You Should Be Dancing, Night Fever, Tragedy, Shadow Dancing, and More Than a Woman under the name The DGs. And the album's called Hail Satin. And it's pretty good. It's really, really awesome. And they sound very close to the Gibbs singing, which is quite the feat. So that's what I'm listening to.
Well, I will say that I did listen to like 18 seconds of the DGs thing.
Yeah.
And I was literally heard that, and I was coming in, and I got here late. Everybody else was here besides me. And I was like singing her, she must be dancing. Yeah. Fucking, it's funny. And the shirts are cool, too.
The shirts are very cool. Ordered one myself.
Yeah. And the Volbeat song of the Metallica song is really good, too.
Yeah.
All right, so that's what we're listening to. We have Dark Monarchy, myself, for the new one, All Roads Lead to Rome, Resurrection Kings, and some old school metal, and listening to some Iron Maiden. BC has got some YouTube going. He has been pressed for time lately to enjoy some tunes. You better get your fucking shit together, motherfucker, by the way. Checking out the Moscow Peace Festival and some Union stuff on YouTube, among other things. BB's also been YouTubing it also, checking out the first Mammoth WVH show, which was last night, which would have been July 27th. And he will be actually opening for Guns N' Roses on their tour this summer as well. And he checked out the Woodstock 1999 documentary. He's still going frame by frame to see if he can find himself in there.
Because you never know.
You
Zoom
never
in,
know.
enhance.
6-hour documentary.
I
Will
want-
take you about 3 years to get through.
I want my cut.
So, and then Dylan's got Coheed and Cambria, a song called Shoulders. Volbeat doing Don't Tread on Me, and the Foo Fighters doing the Bee Gees called the DGs.
Yep. Hail Satin.
Hail Satin. Okay? And before we get going, we have this.
The Potter Than Hell podcast presents Random Thoughts with Sonny Hollywood Pooty.
A guy on the freeway in a car in front of you is driving erratically, swerving lanes, etc. What are the percentages connected to the following reasons? Is he texting? Is he hammered? Or is he getting a BJ?
What do you think, BC?
Today's real Texan.
You go with text?
Yeah.
Okay. Dylan?
Definitely.
I think he listed it in the order of likeliness. You know, texting's number one, hammered is number two,
blowjob.
and then roadhead is number three.
Okay. What do you think, BB?
I think he is loaded, texting, and also getting a roadhead all at the same
trifecta.
time.
The trifecta.
Yeah, he's getting a hat
Okay.
trick.
I think, personally, it's a time of day thing.
A turkey. Okay.
If he's in the morning, he's going to be texting.
Yeah.
Late afternoon, evening, maybe a couple drinks.
Okay.
Later in the evening, drinks and roadhead.
I like that. I like that logic.
I think it's a time thing.
I can get behind that.
Just saying. So thanks, Sonny. Okay, so now after probably about an hour, see, you can tell I missed recording because I just want to fucking talk. A while ago, I usually have us scheduled like 2 months of shows ready to go. And I was like, you know what? Let's just do an album. Pick an album, any album, no topic, whatever. Just pick whatever the fuck you want to pick. So we did random albums, and tonight we are going with BB first.
All right. For no apparent reason, I wanted to showcase these guys because pretty much, A, we haven't really talked about them, and B, they are pretty fantastic if you get rid of their most popular song. But the band I'm talking about is Mr. Big. And the album I'm going to talk about is their self-titled album, which came out June 20th, 1989. It is a beautiful 46 minutes and 54 seconds long. It's off of Atlantic Records. The producer is Kevin Elson. And of course, Mr. Big is fronted by the very, very talented vocalist Eric Martin and the very gifted Paul Gilbert on the guitar and the world-renowned bass player Billy Sheehan. And on the drums, we got Pat Torpey. But great album, great band. You know, if you have not listened to this album, headphone the shit out of this album because the guitar/bass work on this album is stinking fantastic. And I love an album which you can actually hear the bass, because it seems like a lot of albums, you know, all through the years, like you have a hard time picking up a bass. But Billy Sheehan has that unique sound, and you know you're gonna get bass if Billy Sheehan is on an album. So it opens up with the song "Addicted to That Rush." Starts with a very cool bass tapping, big drum beat to start. It kicks in with a little heavy guitar. Eric vocals kick in, fantastic. Kind of fast-paced rocker right out of the gate. Little gift for Wrighty right out of the gate. We got a lot of O's, Wrighty. A lot of O's in the choruses for that. And I love the last verse of this song. Eric just kind of sings almost a cappella with a little bit of a drum beat behind him in the last verse of the song. Really, really cool. Song number 2, Wind Me Up. Very soulful. There's a really cool groove start to it. Paul's cool guitar riffs really, really carry this song. Eric's vocals are great. I love how you can actually hear all 3 instruments of this song. Like I said in the beginning, guitar, bass, drums. Beautifully produced album. Easily you can pick out all 3 instruments of that song. Fantastic song. Song number 3, Merciless. Almost pretty much like a good-looking girl walking by. That strut is merciless. You know, you gotta love a good-looking girl walking by you. You give her a couple, 2 or 3 looks, but it has that bluesy rock feel to it. The solo's really, really bluesy. Love the drums in this song. The drums are big. Really, really cool time changes, and a couple more woes for Wrighty. So hopefully he at least likes the first, at least 2 out of the first 3 songs with O's and woes. So fantastic song, Merciless. Really, really cool. Song number 4, Had Enough. A little slower tune. Love the opening bass solo that it starts with. Big band harmonies. Another thing about this band, their harmonies are really, really cool. More of a perfectly mixed bass and guitar solo. Easily could have been on the radio. Very radio friendly song. Song number 5, Blame It On My Youth. Another great soulful bluesy song. Almost like when you hear the song, it's almost like a little of a foundation for the Winery Dogs. A very, with Billy Sheehan there, it very carries to the Winery Dog era with Billy's career. If you listen to Blame It On My Youth, very, very Winery Dogs-ish. Song number 6, Take a Walk. Fantastic groovy rocker, catchy vocals. I love the big screams he does. The lyrics are catchy. The very, very cool solo at the end of the song, and then it stops, and then you hear the girl walking out of there with her high heels on. She slams the door, and you hear this voice, "She'll be back." So that's a cool way to end that song. Song number 7, which I absolutely love on this album, Big Love. Another slower paced song, another radio friendly song, super catchy. The vocals are fantastic. The lyrics are really, really good. I can't understand why this really didn't get out on radio or even MTV times, because they could have made a video for this and it could have been huge. Song number 8, How Can You Do What You Do? Another upbeat rocker, awesome bass runs underneath the solo, some great guitar work from Paul once again. Big drums fills, another great Mr. Big song. Song number 9, Anything For You. This is your Mr. Big ballad. Lovey-dovey, soft vocals, melodic solo. Once again, it would have been a great song to do a video for. Song number 10, Rock and Roll Over. Rockin' tune. That's a gritty guitar sound with some really cool distortions. Some more big harmonies from the band. Solo's fantastic. The outro solo is amazing. And song number 11, to close out the album, it's probably for me, the only dud of the album, because I love a good closer, and this is not the closer that I wanted to hear off this album. But it's 30 Days in a Hole, done live, the Humble Pie cover. They kind of make it their own. It's really cool, more crazy, distorted guitar work. The background vocals are really high-pitched, and they, like I said, they make it their own, but not the greatest closer I would have picked for this album. I would have maybe left that as a Japanese bonus or something, and I'm sure they had 5 or 6 throwaway songs they could have thrown in there, but not a very good closer. But other than that, fantastic. Their own stuff, fantastic album. BC, what do you got?
Mr. Big. I mean, I can remember the build up for this album back in the day. You know, it was like, because before Mr. Big, Paul Gilbert was Racer X.
Yep.
So they made it up like Paul Gilbert, Billy Sheen. That's all you heard about. So everyone, of course, is okay. Well, let's hear this album. Shocker that it was very guitar. Threw the headphones out for this album, like you said. It's nice to be able to hear everything. And when it comes to Billy Sheen, when it comes to playing the bass, he does more than slap the bass.
He tickles it.
He almost like he does like guitar playing on the bass. He's soloing. He's crazy. But like I said, but Addicted to That Rush and Wind Me Up are 2 of the greatest songs on there, I think. And we were talking before the show, and Merciless was played live at M3.
Yep.
We missed it because you were seeing Black Blue. And like I said, the rest of the songs are good. They're all good songs. I think this band got labeled very early. Not this album, but the next album had
Be With You.
To Be With You on there. After that, unless it was the To Be With You song, these guys rock, but they never got a chance, I think, unless you're a diehard fan. They were labeled right after To Be With You, and what was the one after that? Jesus Christ, I'm drawing a blank. Because I hate the slow song so much. Got it. To Be With You, and what was the other one?
Just Take My Heart.
Just Take My Heart.
Oh, yeah.
That was the next, and then that's all you heard from these guys.
They got pigeonholed like Extreme did.
I was just going to say
Exactly.
Extreme.
Same exact
Like
fucking
what
thing.
Extreme's
words.
another great band.
Yep.
One song, and then they get labeled that. I think to a certain point, Firehouse is like that too.
Mm-hmm.
They get labeled with the slow songs, and this is a slow song. You never heard Firehouse on the radio. Never say never, but overall, I mean, this is one of my favorites. When you listen to the music, I didn't mean listen to it 30 Days in a Hole. Kick-Axe does it, and I'm good.
Yeah. Dylan, what you think?
I too did not listen to 30 Days in the Hole. I thought that was a bonus track when I looked at it on
Even better.
iTunes. So I just listened
Bonus
to the
tracks are supposed to be good.
I just listened to the standard studio tracks from them. So I had the pleasure of seeing this lineup at M3, like BC said, and they fucking ripped it. It was kind of their reunion because they had come back to do What If, which is a fantastic album. Still Ain't Enough for Me, great song. But they played Addicted to That Rush and Merciless from this album of there, and they just kicked ass with it. And this album is so solid. This is such a good debut album, and you don't often hear it touted as a great debut album. And I think it deserves to be up there because I don't think there's any rough songs on here. Even the slower song, there's still some amazing playing in it, and everybody is still on the same level as they are with the other songs. This is a band that gels so well together. Rest in peace, Pat Torpey. He was a fantastic drummer, And like you always hear about Paul Gilbert and Billy Sheehan, but Eric Martin and Pat Torpey also were amazing. And this album is a really good indicator of that. And like you said, I think just like Extreme, they're very much considered for their ballads when they had some of the best players playing music at the time on their album, in their band. And it's just a shame that people don't hear songs like Take a Walk. Because Take a Walk was such a... I had never heard that before. I'm like, oh my god, this song kicks ass. It has such a good groove to it. It was such a toe tapper for me. I was jamming out all the way through with this album. I don't think there's any skippers because I don't consider 30 Days in the Hole as part of the actual album.
Yes.
But this is a fantastic pick. And it was interesting seeing Jonathan Cain get a writing credit on this album from Journey. He co-writes How Can You Do What You Do, which, very interesting. Great album. Fantastic pick. I'm glad we got to talk about Mr. Big. They're a band that should be talked about a lot more, I think.
Alrighty, ready?
All right, it's cool that I'm glad BC brought up that how this album was hyped before it came out. This was one that you were anticipating, and like you said, not as much for me with the Racer X with Paul Gilbert, but Billy Sheehan was just coming off a David Lee Roth band, and I knew of him from Talus because I remember years ago it was in interviews and stuff that Dave wanted Billy Sheehan to take over bass in Van Halen for Michael Anthony. I don't know if it's bullshit or whatever, but it was said back in the day. So then I'm like, I got to look up this Billy Sheehan guy. He was in a band called Talus. So found a Talus album and listened to it. I want to say it was live, and of course, 30 Days in the Fucking Hole is on there.
Most of that song.
You can't skip.
I guess, and that's all, and I'm sure that's all him. But I remember when this came out, I picked it up on CD, and Addicted to That Rush, I'm like, holy fuck, like, Billy Sheehan right off the bat. So you got him, boom, he's the, you get the count in at the beginning there, right?
Yeah, you get a little...
And then just a great start, the riff, straight up rocker, Eric Martin vocals. I had never heard him sing before. And I was like, wow, this guy can fucking sing. And I like the production on it. It's crisp. I think BC, you said it as well, that I like when you can hear everything on the album. There's, you know what I mean? There's nothing. At times it gets a little too much on the bass, not the laying down the foundation of the song. You have that with the drums. The drums are fantastic. Pat Torpey was. I'm sorry, rest in peace, Pat. Fantastic. Wind Me Up, real cool driving riff. And these guys, and I'm listening to this album, and the thing is too, when I picked this album up and I first got it, and I'm like, for some reason it didn't resonate with me. I don't know why. I don't know if I couldn't appreciate the musicality of this album when it first came out, but then when I listened to it building up to this, I'm like, what the fuck was the matter with me? This album's fucking fantastic. And like I said, I just don't think I could. I was into so many other bands at that time. It was Crew and Priest and Maiden, and you know what I mean. And it was like, oh, Mr. Big, okay, Billy Sheehan, okay, cool. Addicted to That Rush is cool, and Wind Me Up was good, and it kind of lost me back in the day. But then now when I listen to it now, I'm like, holy fuck! I'm like, this is, and I'm gonna talk about this later as well. This will be an album that it will be. I'm considering. What I consider I've never even said this before, but it's always been in my mind, a playlist album. Like I will, since I got back into listening to this album, since we've listened to it for this episode, there's a lot of songs I like. The album kind of loses me as an album, but like if I throw these songs on a fucking playlist, I'm like, ooh, cool. You know what I mean? It's not the same thing through the whole time. But Wind Me Up is fantastic. Merciless, very funky, extreme-like feel to it. We said that they kind of got pigeonholed like those guys did. Had Enough. This got that bass diddling at the beginning. I was like, you don't really need that on every song. I'm okay. Settle down, Billy. But the soloing in a lot of these songs that lose me a little bit. The soloing from Paul Gilbert, kick ass.
Suck you right back in.
BB and I went to see Paul Gilbert live.
Oh, that's right.
Down in Philly with we did the Nina Strauss meet and greet, and then Paul Gilbert played fucking fantastic. Funny as fuck. He is fucking hilarious. He is a good guy to have up on that stage, just like telling stories about the songs. And like he would play these songs from this album on his live shows, but he would, any of the vocals, he would play the vocals on the guitar. It's fucking cool as fuck. Blame It on My Youth, fantastic song. I like that. More up tempo. Really cool solo. The drums are fantastic through this whole album. Take a Walk, love it. And like I said, this is going to be like a playlist thing for me. I wish the solo is really good in Take a Walk, but I wish it was longer. Some of the solos are a little short on this, but it does leave room where you could see where live they could stretch them out. Big Love, fantastic. How Do You Do What You Do? And I have written down about Jonathan Cain having a co-write on there. But his kind of signatures on that. It's got a very poppy feel to it for what else is on the album. Anything For You, you know you're going to get a ballad sooner or later. On an album that's anything from 1984 to 1993, you're going to get a ballad on the album. And this is the one there. It's not bad. You knew it was coming, so you just take it like a fucking man.
At least they covered it deep in the album.
Yeah, and move on. Rock and Roll Over, not the Kiss album. 3/4 tempo rocker. Great background vocals. Paul Gilbert just kills on this fucking song. And I will show everybody, I have, I couldn't even spell the whole song. I have 30 DITH.
30 dicks.
And then I put, I just can't.
Just can't.
That's all I wrote down for that.
The 3 exclamation points. I just can't.
Yeah, I just fucking can't. Fun album, one skipper. Well, actually 2 if you count
That was
30 Days in the Hole.
I think it was, though.
Yeah, what, on the original thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Oh, yeah. I didn't like it then.
Unfortunately, it is.
I like the production on it. Great, and like you said, it's not an album that's talked about in debut albums, but it's very good. And Paul Gilbert is fucking amazing. And Eric Martin still sounds fantastic now.
Yeah,
he's playing with
Joey Casada.
He's playing with Joey Casada on drums. He has Steve Brown on guitar and PJ Farley on bass. And it sucks that we missed them. They played that show out at Grands went to out in Sealands Grove, I think it was. Right. But
the winery.
I mean, Eric Martin still sounds fantastic, and like I said before, Billy Sheehan will be at the Rockin' Pod, so check him out. Good pick, BB. Off the cuff there.
Thank you.
Yeah, very good.
All right. I know you pick me last because you get nervous of what I'm going to fucking say.
You never know.
He doesn't want to start off with the
That's right.
Nope. All right, BC, you're up next.
There we go.
With the BC surprise pick.
Wearing the shirt.
This is, but it's not this.
No, it's not the album, but it's the band.
The band, the man.
What did I pick originally? I forget. That's what they picked.
No, you were blank. You were blank in the band.
You already picked something. You picked something we already did.
Did we?
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know what.
Come on, BC.
Oh, Burning Rain.
That's
Burning
right.
Rain.
Oh, yeah.
It was Burning Rain.
So then I went to a backup. So I went to. I was keeping my back pocket Lizzy Borden, and I'm gonna go with this third album and first, in a way.
I encourage you to pick this one. I'm like,
that's
pick
true.
a fucking Lizzy Borden album. Fuck it.
Visualize. It's from late '87. Came out September 5th. His third album, produced by Max Norman, and it came in 41 minutes and 50 seconds. Recorded in Massachusetts. He was staying at my house in between.
They knew Tom and Zeus were up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the band at this time, I was a little worried because the new guitar player came in. It was Lizzy Borden vocals, Gene Allen still on guitar, and Alex Nelson left the band, and they got Joe Holmes from, I don't know who he's from, or he went later on. He played with David Lee Roth and then Ozzy Osbourne. Michael Davis was still on bass, and of course Joey Scott on drums. Me Against the World was in the cult favorite. I've tried to pick this movie up, even the soundtrack up. It's Black Roses. It was a 1987 heavy metal horror movie. It's like a cult favorite. I've seen it on DVD for $150. I said,
Really?
I said, no, thank you.
I read that in the notes, and I never heard of it.
Oh, I've seen it. I was like, oh. And every time I looked at it, it's crazy price. And then even the CD is like $50, $60. I'm like,
You've paid more for less.
yeah, but it's not all Lizzy Borden.
Still, it's got Lizzy.
Yeah, but it's got it. Me against the World.
I thought you were a fan.
Anyways, this is a big not departure, but a different sounding album for Lizzy Borden at the time. He had an EP, and his first 2 albums were very metal, I would say. I mean, ripping guitars and just fast drums, and this was very time-ish, I guess you would say, of the time frame of this album coming out. It was September of '87. Big Hair was the big thing then. I don't know if the producer was like, I was telling Dylan before the show, I said, I mean, there's on the Apple Music, they put all the extra stuff on. The demos are way better than the versions on the album, I think. They're harder. There's better parts in it, vocally better parts in it. I'm like, they should have kept it that way instead of the way they put it on the album. But who am I? But the album started off with Me Against the World, which pretty much if Lizzy Borden had hits, this would probably be one of them, I guess, in the world. That little light guitar solo, it's just made. It kicks in with the bass and drums, which to me is the foundation for the rest of the song with the solid riffs. A big part of this whole album and the whole style of Lizzy Borden's band and as a whole to this there is the back and forth guitar solos. And then the dual guitar solos. That was always a big thing on the first two albums. And they continue it on this album. And the back and vocals stand out. Next song, The Shock. Opens with a Miller guitar riff into like a Miller radio-ish, very radio-ish tune to me. Probably one of my least favorites on the album, believe it or not. I'm not gonna be the fan that says I love everything. The group vocals is pretty good and not too bad of a solo, but overall, I think the producer I think was trying too hard to get Lizzy Borden to the radio-ish field. And Lizzy doubled on the radio. He's too underground.
Anti-radio.
Anti-radio. And then
he's not a sellout.
Third track, he got blamed for being a sellout with this album. Fans were in an uproar. They were calling for Lizzy's blood this time, literally.
Were you in an uproar?
I was like, because he had, Love Me to Pieces, Mr. Society, and then you put this on, it's like, even the look of the whole band was glam.
Yeah, like you said, it's just a sign of the time.
Yep. In '87, so I mean, I just wrote it off as, hey. And back then, I was kind of, I wasn't really down with it, but as I matured, and this album has really grown on me. Where was I? You threw a word at me. Okay, Outcast, right?
Yep.
To me, this is a mid-tempo song. More group vocals during the chorus. The standout of the song, of course, is the solo and the dual melodic solo. But that'd be like a second least favorite track in the album. Okay, track 4, Den of Thieves. Back to more upbeat, faster, more Lizzy Borden sounding to me. Double bass, very more guitar driven. The more Lizzy Borden classic vocals, it gives it little, not spoken word, but kind of like, I don't know,
creepiness,
creepy vocals to it. Again, more great back and forth soloing. The dual guitar solos on this album are so underrated. Track 5, Visualize. Album thing. To me, this is one of the album's standout. Guitar riffs, vocally very Lizzy Borden. The guitar solo is so melodic, catchy choruses. Track 6 is pretty much a live standout of any Lizzy Borden show. Is Eyes of a Stranger. The drum starts into the heavy riff and kind of like glam metal grindage there. Group vocals, and again, I say it over and over. The standout is the guitar solo in this whole album. If there's anything that stands out compared to that still rings true from the first two albums, is the guitar playing in this album. When you take away all the polished shit on top of it, guitars really stand out. Track 7, another one of my favorites, Lord of the Flies. Not to be no Blaze behind us. The guitars and drums into the strong riff. It's just, again, very Lizzy Borden creepy vocals. I guess the guitar solo in this song saves it. You take away all the polish on this whole album, the guitar solo is a stand-up. And the bass playing. When it, like you said, you like when you hear the bass. You put the headphones on, listen to his album, you can really...
Mike Davis
stands up. Track 8, Voyager, I'm Watching You. More strong riffs and strong guitar work on this album. 9, Visions. To me, this is another album standout to me. Between the guitar, the drums, Joey Scott, the back and vocals, and again, more soul on this album. And I like in the song where Lizzy goes, Visions, Visions, Visions. And that's where the album stops, the album. Of course, nowadays they have, like I was saying before, probably about another 4 songs on there, just demos. And I forget which ones they are, but they're better than what's on the album. I'm thinking.
Rawness.
Yeah. Not only that, but there is arrangements are different.
Oh, really? I didn't get a chance to listen.
Yeah.
Listen,
Two of them are Me Against the World, Lord of the Flies, and Visual Lies.
Visualize. But at the Me Against the World is a little bit different. It's better than the fucking album version. That's coming from Lizzy Borden fan. What do you think, Dylan?
So I had only heard "Me Against the World" and I like it. I like that song. I love the pre-chorus harmonies. The I am for me. Like that's very much a part of Lizzy Borden that I enjoy. Like in My Midnight Things, the harmonies in the chorus of that song. I really like when Lizzy does that. This is surprisingly probably the poppiest album we're going to talk about tonight, which was interesting that that's the case, seeing as Mr. Big you would think would have the, like from the hit that you hear from them, would have the popular album if you put up the bands that we're talking about tonight, because you think Lizzy Borden, you think darker, metal, little heavier stuff, but this they're going a little poppier, a little radio friendly. It's not bad. I like Me Against the World, like I said. I like Visual Lies. I was disappointed Eyes of a Stranger wasn't the Queensryche song, and I was disappointed Lord of the Flies was not the Iron Maiden song, but I got over it. I like how Visions ends. It's a very creepy kind of like, and I listened to Dad's album right after it, so it was a perfect transition to do. But I thought this was a really solid album. Like there's some stuff that I got a little bored with because it was just very much kind of the samey sounding a little bit. But the stuff that I liked, I really did enjoy. I liked the guitar work. I like Lizzy's vocals, and it's a good album. I don't think it's their best from what I've heard of them. I haven't heard much of Lizzy, but I definitely know that they've done better than this. But it's a solid album for them wanting to be a little more radio friendly. And also, I sent you a link to Best Buy. They have Black Roses for $14 on DVD.
$14.
So
DVD?
Yep, DVD.
I gotta see this thing.
So there you go.
There you go.
It's also streaming on Amazon, so you can watch it there as well.
Oh, BC's going home. BC's out of here. He's not gonna be...
I gotta stop looking on eBay.
Yeah, you just gotta Google that.
Lizzy Borden.
Here we go.
No. I remember my neighbor had this album, so I knew this album right out of the gate. What I miss about this album is it needs something. It needs like a
Grit.
Something. It seems like all the songs are, very flatline-ish. Like if you take Lizzy's vocals in Steve's album that we're going to talk about later, you mix those two components together, that album would be fantastic. And that was pretty much like the first two Lizzy Borden. Like it had some grittiness to it. It had some girth to it. This album, like you said, maybe it was too poppy, it was too polished, it was too overproduced. They didn't let them do what they do best. It's just, for me, this album, even though this is probably his most popular one, it misses something for me. But Lord of the Flies, I love that song. I love that high-pitched opening riff that they do. The pretty cool time changes in that first verse. And today, I was singing Lord of the Flies all day long today. It was just stuck in my head. Another favorite of mine off this album is Visions. I love that chugging groove. Lizzy's vocals are so fantastic, and the drums on this song sound fantastic. And my favorite of this album is Voyeur. The guitar tune, it's just a different tune of like, it seems like the whole album. And then that higher pitched singing that Lizzy does. And even there's certain parts with with the band's chorus parts, like the harmonies of these guys are really, really cool too. But like I said, it's a great album. Don't get me wrong. It's it's one of his popular ones for a reason. But I think for like true fans, in talking for myself, it misses a punch in the face that you want.
I could punch you in the face.
Whoa. Keep it.
But still, it's Lizzy Borden. It's still a very good pick.
Steve.
All right. I believe that you get that pop metal-ish thing here from Max Norman, the producer. He had just come off of Shot in the Dark, or not Shot, Ultimate Sin with Ozzy. Right before that. So I think... I don't know if it was, like a management thing, or I think Lizzy Borden's pretty much the management for them, anyways, right? I don't know. Earlier than, but it seems weird that Max Norman would be producing an album for like Metal Blade. I don't know if he has before. It seemed like he'd be slumming. You know what I mean? And seriously, nothing against like Metal Blade or anything like that. Love them, but like they were like a lesser label back in the day. I mean, they had tons of kick-ass shit. I forgot. I like this album. I do. Me Against the World. They still play that live. Mm-hmm. You hear that? Cool staple. Cool kick-in. Really, but it is very a mainstream album for Lizzy Borden if you take what's behind it and say this is the next album. But Sign of the Times thing, you could kind of see. Everybody was doing that. Everybody was headed in that direction. Priest, Maiden, Ozzy, the look, the sound, everything. You know what I mean? It was just, that's when everyone was just getting thrown into the fucking blender. And here's what comes out. Shock. I love this song. I think it's fun. Shock treatment. Fucking love that chorus. It's got the choppy riff, the soul, and these two guys are a good duo on the album. I think they mesh well together. It sounds like they play off one another. Do you know, did Joe Holmes tour with these guys then? Yes. Mm-hmm. So that would have been a cool thing. You said Gene Allen had left, right?
Alex Nelson
had left. Gene Allen is still the guy that's there. But I think they played off each other really well on this one. Outkast starts out kind of rocking, slows down a little bit. You get that creepy Lizzy Borden feel that you get a lot. Shredding solo in it. It's one of BB's roller coaster songs. Yes. Den of Thieves, straight up rocker. Great up tempo song. Excellent back and forth on the solos between Joe and Gene. Love the song. Visualize. I don't. This song just didn't hit me for some reason. I don't know why. It's but it does have the creepy thing for Lizzy Borden. The background vocals are good. But it's got like just the melodic solo in it, which is cool. But it's not one of my favorites on the album. Eyes of a Stranger, another live staple. Fun poppy song for Lizzy Borden. Really good solo. Lord of the Flies is like it's got an intense feel to it, which I really like when you get this song, Lord of the Flies, I think is the one song on this album that kind of harkens back to like Love You to Pieces. Like this song from this album could be from there, and I like that kind of throwback. So it's not a total, pop extravaganza. You get that throwback feel, I think, here on that one. Voyeur, I'm Watching You. Cool up tempo song. Like little. This also has a little classic feel, I think. The typical Lizzy Borden stalker song. You get that like I'm watching you kind of shit, and you get that even right up to the last album. You get that. You get that like I'm under your skin from one of the 90s, you know what I mean? You get that, you kind of get that sprinkled throughout the whole Lizzy Borden thing. And like the album cover of Love You to Pieces. Here's the hot chick on the bed, Lizzy Borden in the closet. I never noticed that till fucking like 2 years ago. I had the album when it fucking came out. I had Lizzy Borden from the fucking EP.
So Steve in a slasher movie would not last very long because he would never be able to see the slasher coming at him.
No, I'd be fucked. I'd be way down on the cast list because I'd be one of the first ones to fucking
go. That's like Christine. I was showing her Halloween and she never saw Michael Myers in any of the shots where like Jamie Lee Curtis is looking off and she's like, why is she so scared? I'm like, because Michael Myers is right there.
Fucking right there.
He called me with the one. He goes, Did you know Lizzy Borden's on the album cover? So, yeah.
Yeah.
And this was like fucking 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was like,
He's like, you're fucking kidding me, right? I'm like, no, I honestly just fucking noticed it.
See, I thought it was a mirror. I didn't realize it was a closet. It's a mirror of him in the closet.
Yeah, you see in the mirror the closet.
the closet.
Yeah. I just didn't notice it. I don't know. Okay, anyway.
Here's where we break down album
yeah,
covers on
yeah.
an audio podcast.
Yes.
How about the album cover?
So check it out. Dylan will post it. Visions, good melodic start. I like you get the bass and the drums like for the verses is very cool. You get a little grindage in this one, BC. I think you get a little heavier as we go. The back and forth solos are fantastic in this one, and like I said, these guys are really great together. I love the dual guitar harmonies stuff that they do throughout the album. I like this one. Very, very mainstream for Lizzy Borden from what you were used to at the time. But sign of the times, an album of its time. But I like it. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stars. Just saying.
Wow. How many did Mr. Big Head?
Like I say, there's only probably I think there's only 9 songs.
Big Head, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh,
Ooh, we got a
tie
ball
game.
NBC.
Ty Gabe.
7. I didn't put stars by mine though. Actually, I didn't think of it.
I'm sure mine's going to be less stars.
We'll see. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Okay.
All right, so there's BBs and BCs. They're the Killer Bees albums. They were getting those guys up first this evening, up first to the plate tonight. So for our gem song this week, I'm going to mix it up. I had something different picked, but in homage to Dusty Hill, we're going to play from the 1973, which was one of BB's hidden gems. Album was from Tres Hombres.
Yes.
Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers, which Dusty Hill was a co-lead vocal on this song. So Dylan's going to play Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers now. All right, hope you enjoyed Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers from ZZ Top, Dusty Hill, rest in peace, for cold lead vocals on that. And you could hear people celebrating the lives of our fallen musical comrades in our background here in our neighborhood. They're shooting off fireworks in the at the end of fucking July.
Or
we're in Beirut. One or the other. So we're going to do our hidden gems now. So, Dylan, what do you got?
So, yet again, I pick a hidden gem that's connected with my thing, but I haven't gotten yet. But if people read the description, they'll know what album I'm going to be picking, so it's fine. The hidden gem I'm going with is from a band called Chickenfoot. It's a supergroup featuring Joe Satriani, Sammy Hagar.
This is your gem?
I'm saying there's a song from them.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying the band is my hidden gem.
Okay.
I'm saying a song that they did. So the band's Joe Satriani, Sammy Hagar, Michael Anthony, and Chad Smith from Red Hot Chili Peppers. And they do a cover of Highway Star that's available on their Best Plus Live album. And it's a fantastic cover. Joe Satriani does the keyboard part, and it sounds almost exactly like the tone of the keyboard from the original song by Deep Purple. And, of course, Michael Anthony and Sammy Hagar do the harmonies, and they're note perfect with their singing. Like, they are the perfect singers to cover that song. And it's fantastic. A really great cover of it. It's a song that always rocks no matter who does it. It's just a classic showstopper, and their version is no different. So Chickenfoot doing Highway Star by Deep Purple.
Okay. Going. That is a good version.
Yeah.
BB, what do you got?
All right. Since BC kind of introduced me to these guys, I've been rocking out to these guys for a while now, and love. Who I never heard of. Who is this Lizzy Borden you speak of?
Who is she?
I never heard of her or her band.
His and gem is Mr.
Is that like
Big.
Lizzy Hale, Lizzy Borden? That's her sister. Okay.
40 West with a wet noodle, Bart.
So we're going to go back to 2016 from the band The Treatment. BC loves these guys, and I'm no different. We're going to go from the album Generation Me, which was released, like I said, 2016, to the song Tell Us the Truth. I think that's song number 3 on the album. Blazing guitar work on this song. Amazing vocal performance. If you like hard melodic rock and roll, these guys are right up your alley. So check out Tell Us the Truth by The Treatment.
All right. I'm sure I know that. I'm sure I've heard that song because I have that CD. All right, PC. What do you got?
Shock the people, damn it. I got not too many times I get away from YouTube, but this is off YouTube.
So you haven't gotten off of YouTube.
But I did go a little bit off trying to find more of their stuff. It's a band pretty much because this is an EP up. Thaddeus Gonzalez with Ripe from this year. Just straightforward rock and roll, fucking groove. Nothing fancy, just straightforward. Very catchy tune.
And it has 3 views on YouTube, and it was released
BC watched
10
it
months
twice.
ago.
BC watched it twice.
I'm kidding.
And Thaddeus' mom watched it the other time.
Thaddeus Gonzalez.
This is Gonzalez.
All right, I will have to check that out. Like, no, I never even that. Even
Don't even have a clue.
All right, my hidden gem this week is I was literally sitting today going like, I have no idea what the fuck my gem was. I have something that I had crossed out, but I think I had this one before, so I'm like, that. And I'm like, what the fuck? So, and I'm also looking on fucking YouTube. Like, I'm like, please show me something. And like, boom, literally comes up. I'm like, ooh, I haven't heard that before. So this is the version of the Heart song Barracuda done by Inglorious.
Oh, nice.
I did see that.
I just checked that out today, and then excellent. Sounds fucking excellent. And then I found out like 10 minutes after that, they're putting out a covers album, and this song's on there. And the song choices on that Inglorious covers album is going to be very interesting. I'm just going to tell you, look it up for yourself and look at some of the song choices. If you think that, I mean, Barracuda is a pretty straightforward hard rock song that a lot of bands do. Adrenaline Mob, they do a fantastic version of this song. But there's some songs on there from some artists you're going to be like, what the fuck? And I can't wait to hear them because there were ones I'm like, wow. Yeah. Holy fuck. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So
I see one of these out there.
Yeah.
Bring Me to Life featuring Jeff Scott Soto.
Yeah, so just
That's gonna be wild.
look it up and check it out. Like Evanescence, like crazy shit that is like not in the rock or metal. Well, you know, pop rock maybe some of them, but
they are all women.
Yep.
Lead singers.
Yep.
And it's called Heroin.
Heroin, yeah.
yeah.
But it's like H-E-R, like it's H-E-R, and then there's like a little O. Did you see the album cover?
Yeah.
No,
It's really, really cool.
Oh no! Oh, that's cool. Yeah, heroin,
Yeah, heroin.
like girl hero. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's gonna be cool. So check that out. So there's our hidden gems. Dylan cheated with Chickenfoot, Highway Star Live.
I thought my album would be first, but it was not.
It was not. That's okay. No problem. Good song though. Real good version. Striper does a good version of that as well.
Yeah.
The treatment for BB from the Generation Me album. Tell Us the Truth, the song. Track number 3, he believes. Thaddeus Gonzalez for BC with some Ripe. I gotta check that out. I gotta check that out.
It's gotta be your neighbor.
Dylan, if you can, put that in the Spotify playlist as
Yeah,
well.
I'm gonna look up and see if Thaddeus Gonzalez is on Spotify.
I just looked up. It's not a band. It's just a guy.
Yeah, I figured it was.
solo
I
artist.
figured it was a guy.
Well, he's got to be like from some, crazy band.
California. He's from Oakland, California.
But I wonder if he's like a guy.
Thaddeus
from-
Gonzalez. Here he is. And
All right.
Ripe is right up there. Yep.
All right, cool. All right,
Off the
that will be
album.
on the Spotify playlist. So
Off the
check
album,
out.
Opposite Faces.
So check out Thaddeus Gonzalez, Ripe. Dylan will put all the.
From Oakland, California.
Dylan will put all of the, if they're available, all the hidden gems on the Spotify playlist, as well as Beer Drinkers Hellraisers. And my hidden gem was Barracuda from Inglorious. And that's from the YouTube video, but it will probably, I'm sure it'll probably be a single that'll probably be released before the album. So I'm not really sure what the release, excuse me, the release date for that album
Did you see
is.
the video that
Yeah, with them all
doing
playing.
it?
Yeah. Yeah, very cool. All right, so now it's my turn.
So,
I love this guy. I think he's fantastic. Creepy as fuck. And this is the reason why I didn't want to do mine and BC's in the same portion of the show. I wanted to separate us because ours are probably the most two artists that are the more alike than BB and Dylan's are. So I picked the King Diamond album, Them. Came out in the United States September 13th, 1988, which is weird because it came out in Europe in July 18th and the 21st in Japan. So it was like 4 months later it came out in the States. It's produced by King Diamond and Robert Falco. The album Them, our cast of characters that play on this album are King Diamond. Vocals, keyboards, guitar on rehearsal versions. Rehearsal versions are bonus tracks, which we're not going to talk about. Producing and mixing, Andy LaRocque, his steadfast guitar player that he has had on all the King Diamond albums. Peter Black, this is his first album with King Diamond. He replaced Michael Denner, who was the guitar player also in Merciful Fate. So this is the first one for Peter Black. Hal Patino on bass. Mickey D, who is now the drummer for who, BC?
Scorpions.
Scorpions, good job. And former drummer of who?
Motorhead.
Motorhead. There you go. All
As
right,
well
BC.
as who?
Yes.
Halloween.
Halloween. There you go. Oh, there you go.
Hell no, we.
Hell no.
Poonie knew that one.
Poonie knew that one right there.
So that's who plays on this album. And Dylan is going to play the opening clip from this album so you can kind of get an idea of where this is headed and how fucking creepy it is. And he's going to play it right now.
Missy, listen to what Mother says. Now, you be good to Grandma. And remember, she's been away on a long vacation. That goes for you too, King. And stop playing that thing. Will you answer the door?
Okay, so now...
We weren't going to reenact. We should have reenacted it and had.
I know. We could have written out a script. It's a twisted story. We talked about. We did the Graveyard from King Diamond. We did Abigail album as well. And this is the third album from King Diamond. It's just fucked up. Totally fucked up. Weird. Would be a cool movie. And I know that speaking of Abigail is coming out as a graphic novel. It's coming out, I think it comes out Halloween. So I'm hoping that they follow up with them after that, which would be very cool. This is about King. King Diamond is the kid in this, and the grandmother was at an insane asylum. She is brought home at the beginning of the album, but you can hear the creepy them. They're the little ghosts up in the fucking attic. And the Amon is it's a teapot, and they if you add blood to it, it makes it powerful and makes people do crazy shit. You just gotta just listen, and the whole album just goes through the whole story, and it's just so creepy as fuck and just insane how the story progresses. The music is very heavy, tons of guitar solos, tons of dual guitar solos, back and forth. Like a solo in the beginning of the song after a couple verses, and then a creepy break in the middle, and then goes right back into another solo. It starts out with Out of the Asylum, spooky, like really creepy piano, like ding 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 ding, kind of like a Halloween type of cadence to the. We were talking about Michael Myers before, right? Mm-hmm. And you hear them whispering, the old bitch is back, so they know the grandma's coming back home. Welcome Home, like a little disjointed drum fill starts out with, intense riff. The King's high vocals, let me help you out of the chair. That's something we've been all singing here through the whole thing. We've seen King Diamond live. He opens up with this song when we saw him the first time.
And everybody goes, wow,
everybody was, yeah. It was just insane. If you want to go to a crazy show, go to a King Diamond show. Everyone there is into it. It's fucking crazy. Great double bass drumming for Mickey D. The tempo picks up for the second ripping solo. The first solo is fantastic. Then you get some great guitar harmonies like at the end there. The Invisible Guest is next. Choppy riff to start, very grinding. Then you get the dual guitar. Then it kicks in. I love the change in tone between the verses and the choruses in this song. The tempo slows down for the chorus. The soloing is fantastic. These guys are totally, our second awesome guitar duo of the evening, which is weird because our albums have dual guitar players. Theirs do not.
Single.
Another guy plays a little rhythm guitar on there, but he doesn't play lead, though.
No.
On Dylan's
album.
album.
And live, I don't think he plays guitar.
Live, yeah. So, mine and BC, that's another thing in common that our two albums have. You have two guitar players playing off one another.
And our albums were supergroups, too.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so. That's true. The next song, T, little slower start, very ominous, plotting tempo, different tones for the characters the King sings. I will say off the bat, you do get a little too much of the high vocals from King on this album. It does get, for me, even a little too much even for me. But then, like, the shrieks and stuff that he does is very cool. Mother's getting weaker. Rocking song, just they're draining the mother of her blood. They're putting it in the teapot. It's making the ghost stronger, and they're trying to get the sister involved here now. And she knows, the sister knows something's going on in the story. She tries to call for help. King cuts the fucking phone line, so she can't call out. And then the Bye Bye Missy's the next song. Stomping rocker. The mother's coming up the stairs to join them for tea. The daughter knows something crazy is going on. So the Amon decide that, she's got to go. Bye, Missy. She's too young anyways, they say. They tell King to put her in the fireplace in the kitchen. Missy fights back, and she smashes the fucking teapot. They call out for Missy's death. It goes right into a fucking crazy fucking solo. It's short, but it's fucking... It's your Sick Bananas one for the night, BB.
Yes.
Great tempo change. The outro solo is just fucking lot of crazy whammy bar shit going on there. A spell's broken. This is where King realizes shit's fucked up. He runs out of the house. But then he's looking in the house and he can see the eyes of the Amon coming down the steps. They find an axe. He sees the axe going up. They chop up fucking Missy, throw her in the fucking fireplace and burn her up. And it's just, and like the King passes out, but then the shredding is fucking insane. And then it switches, boom, like bang, right to a little acoustic thing. King wakes up and he sees the smoke and he knows that, pretty much that's Bye Bye Missy part of the song. Then there's more kick-ass soloing, dual guitar parts. He runs back in to find his grandmother, and then the next song is the accusation chair. King takes grandma outside, tells her all is okay. He lies to her to get her out of the house where the power of them is less. He gets her outside and cuts her throat. Pretty much is how it goes. They're waiting inside for him, but he's like, fuck that, I'm not going back in. He runs away and he passes out again. And then he dreams that he was one of them when he's passed out. The next song is Them. Little short instrumental thing, acoustic piece, but then it has like a little, them are whispering, King, we are stronger than you. You must return to the house. Like a really creepy. Then you get the creepy little keyboard thing at the end there. Twilight Symphony, one of the last songs in the album. Just back to crunching metal though. I mean, like the King is caught. The song totally, the music goes along with the intensity of the scene. The cops catch him and question him. They're waiting for this Dr. Landau to come. He confesses. He said that, he's glad he did it. He killed them so he can get away from them. They find no trace of Missy. They must have totally burned her up in the fucking house. And he tells the doctor the truth of actually what happened. The doctor's like, are you just mad? Are you fucking insane? Doesn't believe him. Gets thrown in the asylum, and then the album goes to like 20 years later when they finally let him the fuck out, and now he's got to go back to the house. Ripping solo in here again. Just, I tell you what, if you can get past the high shrieking vocals of King, this album and the guitar playing is fucking insane on here. It's just fucking sick bananas. A lot of sick bananas on this album, BB. I know BB's probably going to rip me for the vocals on this album, but the guitar playing and the music is just straight up fucking metal, kick ass. King returns home, and then actually it has like a bonus track for the phone call, but it should be switched with Coming Home, which is the last track on the album, because the phone call it's them calling him on the grandmother calling on the phone. He said, I thought I killed you. And he's like, she's like, sorry about my throat, because he cut her throat. And he's like, well, you're dead. She's like, well, kind of dead. And then it goes, then Coming Home should be next. You get the creepy, insane thing, and then I was supposed to read the lyrics, but guys, just go check them out. It's fucked up. Like you literally read this story, and if there's a website you can go to and has the whole story and the vocals and the extra stuff like that. Like when you read that Coming Home, the lyrics in that, the fucking chills just go up your fucking spine. Creepy as fuck. So just check it out, guys. And I'm a little nervous. So, but BB, I'm gonna do an opposite. BB, I'm gonna call on you first. What do you got?
I actually we saw King live in New York City. Like I enjoy King, but I need to sit down and either when you put on the album or you put on your phone, I need to read the words, because it seems like it's almost like an audio book in your head in a way. I could never just like pull like the Invisible Guest out of like my playlist and play it, because it just doesn't fit. Like you need to go through the story to understand what's going on. And I really enjoy King Diamond. I think his high pitched vocals that's him. That's what he's known for. And like I'm not gonna lie, like sometimes like I teeter from Merciful Fate. I like that band because he's not that high pitched in that band.
You get more of a straightforward vocal,
right? Yeah, and even before when you were off, like I would love this. Get Lizzy Borden's vocals and lyrics and mix them with your album's guitar work and make an album, because it'd be amazing, because the guitar work on this album is so cool. It's so good. And like the Invisible Guest, there's like 4-5 solos in the one song. Like It's just fantastic. Love the storyline. And it's hard to pick out like certain songs, you know, like The Invisible, I guess they talk about like the floating cups and Mother's Getting Weaker. They talk about King cutting the phone line off of Missy, and then like the Broken Spell, they know that Missy was cut up into pieces and thrown into the fire because you can see the smoke coming out of the chimney. Like, but I really enjoy this, but like I said, I have to sit down and either like read the words with it and get my head into the story, because like the storyline is sick bananas, righty. I love that.
You brought up a great point, and I just never thought of it till now. This is an album you kind of have to listen to twice in a row.
Yeah.
You have to listen to it once to get the story. So the story distracts from the music, right? Mm-hmm. But then if you listen to the music, it distracts from the story. Mm-hmm. So you kind of have to listen to it maybe 3 times. So you listen to it once and go get the gist of the story, and then listen to it again and listen to the fucking rockin' music, and then maybe listen to it the 3rd time to mesh the two of them, because it is like one does distract from the other.
Yeah.
But it's all fucking cool. It's just and you're right. It is, the whole thing is sick bananas. What do you got, Dylan?
Yeah, King Diamond, fantastic, great artist. Yes, his vocals do get a little, especially when he gets really high. After a while, you kind of want a little more, like something different, just to cleanse your palate with it. But I love how he does the characters, because you could tell when one person's talking over another. Like he has the rasp for the grandmother, and he has the high up for King. You know, it's stuff like that. You could tell the different, you know, protagonists and antagonists going on in the story. So he's a really good storyteller in that aspect, that he can act it out very well. And I think the instrumentals on this album is phenomenal, because there's so many different tempo changes that keep it fresh and keep it exciting. And like BB said, the guitar work on it is just amazing. And Eddie LaRocque is a really great partner for King Diamond to really help boost up the creepiness of the aspect. Like there was like this one part in, I can't remember which song it was, but there's this like dissonant piano like cling, like of the strings that happen like out of nowhere, and you're like, oh Jesus, scares the shit out of you. So it's an album that has a really creepy atmosphere, but then like it fucking rocks out when it wants to. Like the riffage on it is just so heavy, and this is definitely the heaviest album we're going to be talking about tonight, and for good reason, because it's a very much a horror album, and it's an album that you can't really take many of the tracks out and like put them on a playlist. It's not a playlist album. Like maybe Welcome Home, since that's like the first song, and you can kind of just
like Welcome Home and The Invisible Guests are the one that they pick out of this album to play live.
Yeah, exactly, because the rest of them kind of really rely on the story. You kind of like Bye Bye Missy, you know, you need to know that the sister's like, hey, we got to get out of here, and King's under the spell, you know, and then they chop her up and put her in the fireplace. Like that, out of context, you're like, you know, what's going on, because you didn't know that she was worried about the mom, like, you know, succumbing to like a sickness, and you know, there's the whole kind of thing that you need to follow. So it's an album you have to pay attention to, so that might be a detriment to some listeners, but like I think you get a lot out of it if you listen to the lyrics and if you listen to the music. Like it's something for everybody, because you could listen to both, or you could listen to one or the other and still enjoy yourself. It's well done. It's a very, very good album. I sometimes I have to be in the right mood for it, but it is a fantastic album from back.
If you're a horror fan,
yeah,
like a lot of the King Diamond stuff is just insane. Like I don't know how, actually this came out in 88. Abigail came out before that, and I think 86, 87. Like how are these not like a movie? Yeah. Like even The Graveyard, I'm like, this is fucking like crazy fucking story. I don't know how they're not out there yet, but you know, what do you got, BC?
Give it 10. Like you said, these albums came out 80s, and this is before I knew you, so I was like, I would see it, of course, being a fan of Kiss or Motley Crue or these bands, you see the makeup, so you're drawn to it. And I remember listening to some of it, and I remember back then I was like, that was kind of pushing me back. Musically, I liked it. Vocally pushing back. So once I knew you, and you were always playing King Diamond from a lot of times, so I got more into it, and especially this album. So, like I said, the only downfall of this album a little too much of the like
It gets a little much.
a little bit. Like there's parts, yeah, it fits in perfectly, but then there's parts that was too much. But musically, this is just ripping. And like you hit it right on the head. Either you're rocking out and not hearing the words, and I'm music before lyrics.
I am
with
too.
Anything.
I am too.
So, but like you said, when you listen to the words, you're like,
Pretty
But then-
creepy.
Once you get used to both, you're really into it.
you're really into it. And all the albums like King Diamond, until we saw him live, which we never thought we'd ever see him live.
He's great live.
That totally changed everything. I mean, just between us summing all my notes here, so many words like killer guitar, killer drums. I mean, musically, just you can take the words off, and rock your head off.
Yeah.
I think a lot of this stuff, even musically, was ahead of its time when it came out.
But 88,
It's very heavy.
for 88, yeah. And I can remember Merciful Fate and that. I always got them mixed up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, King Diamond. Steve like, oh, it's Merciful Fate. I'm like, okay, back. I always got them mixed up, but I mean, I've listened to this song probably the most for this episode. And unfortunately, my wife has to listen to most of the stuff I listen to, and she's like, what is this? At the parts of
Be careful, I may
She's
chop
like-
you up and
yeah.
put you in the fire.
she's like,
Why is he singing about his
what do
grandma?
you
What?
listen to? What do you listen to? I'm like, King Diamond.
Nicole.
Let me help you. Well, today I was outside and we got so many projects going on at the house. I'm coming up and down the basement steps. I'm like, let me get you a cup of tea. And Renee's like, what? I'm like, nothing. Let me get you a cup of tea.
All right, so there's mine, King Diamond, Them. Always enjoy that album. I think it's fantastic. Dylan is up next, and what do you got for us, Dylan?
Okay, last album we're going to be talking about tonight is from the band that I've talked about for my hidden gem, the band Chickenfoot. They're named after a derogative way to talk about the peace sign, because it's the 3 prongs, like a chicken's foot. And I think it was originally, there was 3 of them in the band, and they had made that name as like kind of like a funny way to do it, and then they were just like, let's just use that as the name of the band. The album came out June 5th, 2009. The cool thing about the album cover is that it was a heat-sensitive packaging. So, like, if you put your hand on the album and it was all black with the Chickenfoot logo, you put your hand on the album, it revealed, like, a thing behind it. So I was really blown away by that. I don't know if you guys remember that. Do you remember that?
Faintly.
Like, the heat-sensitive album cover?
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah.
I have it.
Does it still work?
I don't know. I haven't pulled it out. I gotta find it. I know I have it because I bought it when it came out.
Yeah.
It was
Because this was another album that was hyped up pretty good when it came
Oh,
out.
yeah. Oh, yeah, because it's a supergroup. You had Sammy Hagar and Michael Anthony, a duo that, of course, were frickin' frack. You know, it could not be separated. Then you had Joe Satriani, Satch himself, coming in on guitar, and then Chad Smith from the Red Hot Chili Peppers doing drums.
I thought it was Will Ferrell.
I thought it was Will Ferrell.
Yeah. And then I think
Chad Farrell.
live Kenny Aronoff filled in for him.
He did.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
was going to say YouTube.
Yeah.
And he's a fantastic. He
Kenny
filled in
Aronoff's
great.
good. He follows me on Twitter.
He's really good.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he does. But it was recorded at Skywalker Sound in Marin County, California. So that's where they do all the sound for all the Star Wars movies and basically like every big budget sci-fi effects movies that all the Indiana Jones movies, stuff like that. Clocks in at 57:47. Produced by Andy Johns, who did a lot of like prolific albums. He worked on Exile on Main Street from the Rolling Stones. He did a lot of Van Halen, like for An Awful Carnal Knowledge, Live Right Here, Right Now, and did quite a bit of engineering for like Led Zeppelin in the later years. Another actually important person that I want to talk about is Mike Frazier. Did the recording and mixing for it, and he did a lot of AC/DC stuff. He was big with AC/DC for like Razor's Edge through Power Up, basically that era. So he did Thunderstruck, the most important song of that era in my mind. But let's get into the tracks. So we open up with Avenida Revolucion, which is Revolution Avenue in Spanish. I don't think this is a good opening track. I honestly think it's the weakest song on the album besides one other one. It starts with like a flurry of video game riffage from Joe Satriani before going into kind of a cooler, heavy jam with the band. It's kind of a mid-tempo starter. You can really hear Michael Anthony's bass peek in every now and then. There's some fun harmonies in the chorus between Michael Anthony and Sammy Hagar, which is going to be like a through line throughout the album because their voices sound so good together. There's some spoken word in the bridge that Sammy brings out. And then the solo comes in, which I think kind of saves the song a little bit because Joe Satriani can fucking rip. He tears it up. I think it would be a better song towards the middle of the album. I don't think it's a good, hey, this is our first album, here's our first song. Sammy does some yelling at the end. There's a cool bass and drum jam that the song fades out on that I actually kind of like, as Sammy does spoken word over that. Then we get into an actual good song, Soap on a Rope. Fucking catchy as hell riff. This is the band as they should be. Immediately picks the album up after the last song. I love the stop-start of the verses. You know, the da-na-na-na, as like Chad Smith is doing like a nice, cool, funky beat underneath it. It very much feels like it could have been like a Sammy solo song of sorts. Satch has some fun parts in the silent stop-start of the verses where like the band doesn't play and Sammy just does the vocals. I love the Michael Anthony and Sammy Hagar harmonies in the chorus. You get the high-pitched Michael Anthony vocals that I really love. Chad Smith has some cool, subtle things he does with the drumming underneath to kind of change it up. I love the jammy part after the first chorus where they do the and they keep going up on like a scale. And then they go into like the da-da, da-da, and the, you know, get your buzz on. It's such a cool part that you're not expecting because you're getting into the jamming and then they just go into this cool stop and like anthemic part. It's a much more dynamic song and it would have been a much better opener. Nobody's wasted in this one, and Sammy's vocals have such character and fun to them. Then they have a cool tempo pickup after the second chorus that really changes things up with the "Get your buzz on, oh yeah." Satch lets it rip during this part, and then they go back into the opening, like to kind of end the song in the stop-start way. Then the third song, we got "Sexy Little Thing." Maracas going on. I really like the riff after the first part of the chorus. There's more Michael Sammy harmonies in that chorus. We go into like a bring it down part after the second chorus. There's some little tasteful soloing from Satch before we have like a quiet build that seems like it's going to build. And then there's a pause and then it kicks right back into the chorus real loud. Pretty decent song, all things considered. I love the last part with the yeah, yeah, yeahs. There you go, Dad. The yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, he's got it written down. Number 4, Oh Yeah. This was a single. Great opening riff that just feels like Chickenfoot to me, like a very Chickenfoot signature thing. Nice bass accents in the song. Sammy's doing his classic Sammy singing. Great sing-along chorus with the oh yeah, come on baby. It's so good. There's a dreamy part right after the second chorus, and then there's a part right after they go into a jam on like this really simple riff, but it's a really like good simple riff, and it's just another great song. And then we got Running Out. A little more of a chiller beginning, but still a good one that you're nodding your head to. They're running out. They keep saying they're running out, which is pretty funny. There's a really cool wah pedal solo that just kicks ass. Anytime you might not be into a song, anytime you might not be into a song, Joe Satriani's going to bring it right back in with that soloing. Then we go to Get It Up, which I always would confuse Avandia Revolution with this song because they feel very similar in the verses, but I think this is a much better song than the first song. Heavy bouncy beat, nice Michael Sammy harmony in the verses. I think done much better than the first song, but they sound very similar, and I would literally always get them confused. I love the Arriba during the chorus. Sammy bringing in some of his south of the border influence in there. Love the riff in it. It's definitely a stronger song than the first one I keep comparing it to. It's kind of an upbeat bridge that like almost seems different from another song, but it works, I think, and it leads into a really awesome solo that has a really cool rhythm guitar riff from Sammy right underneath it. That really is one of my favorite riffs on the album. It's really simple, but like it's like one of those. It's like Back in Black where like you really love the rhythm riff underneath the solo, and it just if you listen to it, it's fantastic. Then we go Down the Drain. This is a song that I picked a couple episodes ago for my 7-song list, so I apologize for the repeat. Starts with like a beautiful guitar kind of like sprinkling riff, I would call it, before we go into like a bluesy jam riff. It's a very low-key song for the verses. Sammy does some David Lee Roth-like spoken word riffing, talking to Satch. You know, is that the riff you got? That the new one? Fun chorus. I love the chorus. You can tell it's going to be a song that builds to something. It takes a very long time to get there, but I still think the journey's fun. Sammy needs love first thing in the morning and in the first thing in the evening. So I feel bad for for his wife that he needs that much. Satch always knows how to make a solo different and interesting. And it's very cool during the lower tempo parts. Like he doesn't overplay it, and he does this cool like chugging like part to it that's like a little different for him. And then it goes into this blistering, and then the rest of the song is basically a band showcase as Chad just kind of goes crazy with the drum fills, and Satch is soloing under Sammy singing is fantastic. It becomes like an epic jam after the tempo kick in. With more soloing, there's some great bass drums from Michael, fun drumming, and Sammy's doing like vocal riffs over it. It feels very improvised, like they're all playing in the same room, kind of coming up with the song, which makes sense because it's one of the 2 songs on the album that everybody's credited. The other songs, it's just Sammy and Satch as the credits, besides one other song. And Sammy's yell at the end, holy shit. Like, he lets it loose, and it's an epic closing song, and it could have been a great closer to the album, but they did not have it as the closing song. We still have a bunch of other songs. Number 8, My Kind of Girl. There's like a mysterious guitar intro. You don't know what's going to happen. And then we go into like this upbeatish riff that a tambourine's underneath that you're like, oh, okay. This is kind of a poppy song. I love the chorus of the song. It's very, very poppy. There's the harmonies again with Michael and Sammy that I think really just like have a great feel to them. There's a cool part after the second chorus. We get some harmonica work for the bridge, and then another great solo. This is a really awesome late album song for me. It should have been a single. I'm not sure why it wasn't a single. I think I could have got some really good radio play. So Learning to Fall, number 9. I think this is probably the weakest song on the album. It's the ballad. It's very plaintive beginning. It's not bad, but with like all the other songs being so upbeat and jammy, you're not really expecting a ballad, and it's kind of out of place. The solo in the middle is a little shorter, but you could tell Chad Smith is getting bored because whenever he does fills in the song, he's like fucking letting loose on them. The harmonies are nice though, and Sammy sings it really well. And it brings things down just a little bit after My Kind of Girl. But the end soloing is really good, but it's like very much ballad soloing of like the epic, like, and it's not very Satch-like for me. Turning Left instantly brings it up, you know. Cool riff. The band's coming back alive. Michael and Sammy's harmonies and the verses are always great. I love the chorus. Another good sing-along chorus because it's only 2 words. Fun ending and great band work throughout. And then we have the last song, Future in the Past. Seems like another plaintive song to end the album with clean guitars to open it. It almost feels like we're doing the Marshall Tucker Band at first, like going to the freight train, like, you know, doing Can't You See? But then we switch it up and Sammy starts singing a little bit. There's no drums at the beginning, and you're like, okay, this kind of feels like a love song, kind of like they're coming out for the encore. You know, it's not going to be good. But then they kick into a funky groove part that's a lot more Chickenfoot. But it's a little weird. I don't know if I quite vibe with it. It's like a little off for me for some reason. It's clear, like they do the lyrics saving the best for last. I don't think that's the case on the album, but it's definitely not the worst song. There's a weird middle part that gets some mysterious stuff going. We get some yeahs in there, Dad. You can feel it building towards something. We get some quick hey-hey-heys. And then we come out of it and do like a wah solo. A little too short. And Sammy sings again. But then Satch comes in with some fucking shredding guitar that like really lets it loose at the end of the album. You could tell that he's like, oh shit, I gotta get all this playing out at the end of the album. And then he really shreds towards the end of the song. And it's got that bombastic ending that you want from an album. It's not like the best song on the album, but I think it is, at least the end part, is a great closing song. Maybe not the rest of the song. I'm not as big a fan of it, but I think this is a good debut album. There's some like weak links, like the first song I think is pretty weak, and the ballad seems a little off from the rest of the album, but overall I think this is a really good showcase of everybody in the band. So, BC, what do you think?
Chickenfoot. This is the part of the album I've been least familiar with. And it's funny you said the first song, because my first notes on there is different feel.
Yeah.
But cool solo.
Yeah, solo was great.
Soap and a Rope put a star by that killer guitar, the group vocals, again the solo. Second little thing, nice little groove. Oh yeah, to me I'm down solo, and the oh yes. Running out, I have nothing after that. I don't know why. Get it up. Good groovy riff. I like it. I mean, but here's another star. Down the drain. I guess this song really has everything. The groove, catchy, good solos, and like the end part jam is just takes it over the top. My Kind of Girl, good tune. Learn and Fall, of course, slower tune. Blah. And then the last two are just not bad. I mean, it sounds enjoyable.
Yeah.
But there's some parts that lose me.
Okay.
Gain me, lose me. Like the solo's good. Some fills are good. But then it brings me back and forth. But
yeah.
I remember when this first came out, and like you said, it was hyped up. And I remember hearing something off, and it's like, it's good. I think when you hype something up, I don't know if it just gets...
It better deliver.
Yeah.
It better deliver, like the End Machine hyped you through the roof and left you high and dry.
I don't think this is an End Machine.
No, not that, but no. But I was hyped up. But this is enjoyable listening.
It's about as good a name as a band as the End Machine.
The name's gonna blow you away.
They didn't build up the band name at least.
No, they didn't.
No, they talked about the band name. Oh, the names, we can't tell the name yet. And then they came out with the End Machine. I'm like,
no, I'm saying the Chickenfoot.
Oh, no.
Didn't build it up.
It's funny.
You're going to be blown away by this band name.
There's that Montage Mountain for the Windfest, and they had chicken.
No? Chicken feet. Yeah.
I'm like, this is the album cover.
Slip on a rope.
I don't know how you eat it because it's pretty much bone.
Dad, what do you think?
Chickenfoot.
Self-titled.
I remember when this came out. It was hyped up. And, I've always said it, I'm a Dave guy, but I love, there's a lot of Sammy Van Halen stuff that I really like. Love Sammy's solo stuff. And I was most happy to hear that Joe Satriani was going to be in a band setting. That was my thing. I was very familiar with Joe Satriani's, his work as, Serving with the Alien and, Satch Boogie, all that shit.
All the G3
yeah.
stuff.
I don't think the G3 stuff was out then.
I think it was. I think that was...
Maybe. It may have been. I don't know.
2000s.
Yeah, but I was familiar...
03, 04,
well, this
05.
came out in 2000. This came out in 2000.
2009, this came out. Yeah.
This came out in 2009?
Yeah.
Why do I have 2000?
I have 2012.
It is 2012. It was re-released 2012.
Oh, okay.
So it came out in 2009.
It came out 2009.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, G3 started in 95, so...
Oh, okay.
Oh, my God.
Well, so really I was familiar with... And I like the G3 stuff. That's probably why. Because I like the G3 stuff. Because I love the interact... When he was interacting with other people than not just a background band.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? The one in Tokyo is still the best. It was Steve Vai and John Petrucci. Still, hands down, the fucking best. All right, BC. Fucking easy over there, okay? I was excited when this came out. Picked it up. I have that heat sensitive one, whatever. And I'll have to look for a BB. I don't know if it still is valid, a working thing. It's got to be like 85 degrees or something like that for it to
84, I believe.
84 or something like that for it to go. When I put this on, Revolution Avenue, I was like, ooh.
It's not a good starting song.
Dude,
I don't know
like,
why they put it on there.
Do not announce your band with this song.
It's a weird song.
It is.
It doesn't even sound like
I don't know. I mean,
it does not.
But they're not like.
It's not them at their top.
They're not like Cuban guys where it would be something. You know what I mean? Like a statement song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make any sense to open the album with this song. It's okay, but definitely not for an opener.
It's not an album opener.
Soap on a Rope. Cool. This one's got a good groove to it. Great background vocals, fantastic. The drums stick out on this album as well.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell kicks fucking ass on drums. I never knew that. I never fucking knew that.
The hell with the movie crew.
But they could have, even though this is a da-na-na-na-na, they could have even opened the album with this.
That's, yeah.
You know what I mean? But good song. I like it. Sexy Little Thing is fantastic. Good head bobber, fun song. It's got a small breakdown in the middle that is very cool. It builds back up. Like a decent like rock and roll type song. Yes. I got it written right down there, Dylan. At the end, I love that part. Oh yeah, how could you not like a song named fucking Oh Yeah? You know what I mean? I picture them on the Live Without a Net video, them doing the Best of Both Worlds walk. I picture them doing this to this fucking song. All right? And that's not a bad thing, because I watched the fuck out of that video. For as much of I complain about Sammy, that fucking Live Without a Net video was fucking fantastic. When B&G video was there, no one could check that out because I fucking had it forever. Running Out. Another, like, little mid-tempo song. It's okay. It's got a catchy chorus. Another fun song. I'm getting a little fatigued now. It's got a cool wah solo on it though. It's kind of sounding the same as we go here. Get It Up. Got a little more pep in it. I do like that. But back down for the verses. Cool solo in there. The tempo change for the solo is very cool. And I think that's the one you said with the Sammy playing that riff in there. Is that the one?
I believe so. Yeah.
Down the Drain, another mid-tempo groover. It's got an intense feel. Great drum fills in that one. And all kidding aside, fucking Chad Smith fucking is a fantastic drummer. I wish he just wasn't in a shitty band like the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, stop.
And it takes like 3 minutes for the soloing to start. Satch tears it the fuck up on this one. The tempo picks up at like 4:45. I timed it. For more Satch ripping solo, fucking fantastic. My Kind of Girl, my favorite song on the album. It isn't a scorcher, but it's tempo wise. But I like the feel to this song. I like This Bud's for You tattooed on her ass. Fucking love that. But I'm still like, come on, guys, like, let's kick it in. And then you go to Learning to Fall. Ballad time. You know you're gonna get it. Okay, chorus. Really mellow, short solo. Okay.
BB's
Next, BB Must Love It. I'm not even looking over there. Turn to Left, another good groove song, cool chorus, really cool. The band really jams on this one though. Yeah. They really do. I like when they think the "We go round in circles." I love that part. I love that's the most probably Van Halen-esque Sammy era version thing of the whole album. That thing to me, that "We go round in circles." I think it's really cool. Outro solo fucking tears it up on that. Future in the Past. They should just chop this song in half.
Yeah.
And put the fucking end. Just let the end play. I don't give a shit what the words are or whatever the fuck. Let the end play. Good album. I got it. I mean, I was like, okay, this is cool. This is another playlist album for me. Like
I would agree with that.
Pick songs off this, throw it in a playlist, and hear like Iron Maiden do 22 Acacia Avenue, and then next comes up Running Out. Would be cool. You know what I mean? And then 50 songs later, My Kind of Girl will come up.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Fall.
That kind of thing. I like it though. It's a good album. The production is fantastic on it. I love the Satch shredding. But the thing I take away from this the most is I really like Satch in a band situation.
Yeah, he works well.
That really was the best part of the album for me. And the surprise for me was, because I fucking hate the Red Hot Chili Peppers, of how good of a drummer fucking Chad Smith is, man. He fucking kicks ass.
Yeah.
And nothing unexpected from Sammy vocally. Sammy vocally. Michael Anthony, you know what you're going to get with him. You know what you're going to get with him and Sammy together. But Satch and Chad Smith, for me, were the two ingredients in there that really made it gel, that were, unexpected for Chad Smith, but awesome seeing Joe Satriani in a band situation.
Yeah.
I really like. And I wish that they would. I'd like to see them do another album.
Oh, absolutely.
I really would.
It's
not like they can't.
Yeah, it's just like
the
schedules are so packed for everybody.
Right. I mean, what is Red
Hot Chili Peppers, like
Sammy and Michael are busy with the circle.
You have somebody as like crazy of a bassist as Flea, you need to have a good drummer to go with him, right?
Because
they need to gel.
I know like 4 songs from them, so.
And I think you're right.
And I like 2 of them.
You would expect like Joe Satriani to overpower a band situation.
He doesn't though. He fits in good.
He fits perfectly because like he's used to being the lead guy.
he saves a lot of the songs.
He's like the highlight in a lot
like you're
of them.
getting like, and then he will bring you back and save the song. But I think some of these songs are just too long.
Yeah.
An hour for this album is too much. If this album was like 45 minutes, between 40 and 45 minutes, I think it would have been perfect. They could have chopped a lot of the fat off of this.
Yeah.
I think it's just, and that's the main thing for me, I think, as well, that it's just a little too long. Like,
yeah. Well, and I think
the point.
I almost think that it's almost similar to the Dirty Honey album, where like it's clear that these songs were meant to be like
it's the opposite
live.
Of it. Yeah. It's the opposite
where
of
like
it.
they included that in the studio versions.
Yeah, if you're gonna stretch them out live, stretch them out live.
Yeah.
Get to the point in the studio and then stretch them out live.
Because I could see this band just like jamming on a riff for like
absolutely
5
and
hours.
I would love it live, but
yeah.
There's too much parts on this album that I'm like,
no, I'm with
dudes,
you
just
that.
move on.
Okay, BB, what did you think to close us out here?
I love this album. I don't know what's wrong with you guys. I think I'm pretty much. We got this. Probably, we're all working together at this time. We probably all got the album somewhere around the same time. It was pretty much hyped up like everybody else said, but I enjoy it, and I think we've already kind of touched on it. The opening track for me is like the dud of the album.
Yeah.
Learning to Fall. I love that one. It like the slow start and the way that Joe just strums his guitar and Sammy comes in with his vocals. It brings me back to the Van Hagar days. Like and I think that's one of the highlights of this album for me. There's like a little small kick in that Sammy screams at. The background vocals are great. I think this is fantastic. The solo is really, really different for Satriani in this. So I think that's why I always go to that song, because it's Van Hagar and it's Satriani being totally different. Another one I like on this album is Turning Left. It has that 70s beginning groove kind of feel to it with some great guitar work. The harmonies on this band is fantastic. And more Sammy screams at the end are just really, really cool. And more crazy distortion that Joe's using. My favorite song on the album is Down the Drain. It has that bluesy, dirty groove start to it. There's them crazy like string scratches that Joe does. The drums are fantastic, and the solo on Down the Drain is sick bananas. But like I said, love from 2 to 11. Love it.
It's just like such a weird like opening song. I don't understand their logic behind putting
bury it number 7 so somebody doesn't go
Revolution.
that far. Take it off the album.
Do it as a bonus track so you can skip it.
Like because to me it sounds like Get It Up, like the verses they sound very similar. And Get It Up was a much better song. Yeah. And like you could have had Get It Up as the first track. That would have been a cool like Get It like to start off the album. That would like blow you away. Literally any other song would have been better. Maybe not Learning to Fall because it's a ballad.
No,
You don't want
we'll
to
put that at 3.
Yeah. I think
skip
Learning to
that
Fall
one, too.
is in a good position. I think everything else is in a great position on the album. And I don't know why they didn't do My Kind of Girl as a single, because that song is so fucking catchy.
I know.
But I'm not in the record business.
It was probably a B-side, so BC, check that out. You'll be able to use that soon.
Because like
in 2 weeks,
Michael and Sammy's vocals together are just so good.
They are. I mean, but you expect that and you get it.
Yeah. They deliver what you're expecting their promise to be.
The shocker to band was saturated.
Satch is so good on this album.
Him and Chad Smith, like I said, him and Chad Smith.
It's a super group and nobody's wasted.
At least wasted talent-wise.
Yeah, true.
All right, so there's our 4 albums. We have Visualize from Lizzy Borden from BC. We have... What'd you do, BB?
Mr. Big.
Mr. Big.
Mr. Big.
It was so long ago.
One of the easiest ones to remember.
We did Chickenfoot from Dylan, and we did Them from King Diamond for me. Let us know what you guys think about those albums. It was just like I said, it was just like, hey, guys, fucking pick an album. Let's listen to them, talk about them. Nothing sucked tonight, I don't think. There was nothing that was egregiously like, oh, dude. I mean, maybe Learning to Fall, maybe a little bit.
This is the 3rd best song of the night.
I'm sorry. Settle down. But it was fun though. Like it was good listening to them because I haven't and I'm glad that you did pick Mr. Big BB because I have not listened to that in years. And I kind of dismissed that album when I first listened to it. Of course, Addicted to That Rush. How could he not love that? Wind Me Up. But then for some reason it lost me. And like I said, I didn't appreciate the musicality of it. Now I do. I'm like, fucking fantastic. And like I said, Eric Martin still sounds fantastic nowadays as well. Visualize BC. I haven't listened to that album in years. I'm like, wow, I forgot really how different that was from the first couple albums from them. And also what's weird, your album and my album were the third albums from the band, and theirs were both debuts.
Oh, that's that's
Jeez.
crazy.
And
how many
honestly,
similarities.
they were totally random. They were totally random.
Yeah, that's so weird.
So that is weird. So we'll go around the table. We'll wrap up. Rank them as you go.
Yep.
And I don't think anybody's feelings could really be hurt in this one because they're in my opinion, they're all solid. I think I enjoyed listening to all of them pretty much.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
What do you got, Dylan?
Okay, so if I had to rank them, I would probably go Mr. Big number 1. That album kicks ass. I love it. I would go King Diamond Them number 2. Because I think there's not as many skippers as the other albums. I think it's a solid album. It's just the vocals, like, at times, detract for me. Then I'd probably go Chickenfoot because the Satch is soloing. It's, like, fucking amazing. And Lizzy Borden Visualize is coming up the rear. But it's not a bad album. I enjoyed a lot of it. Horrible. It's just that the other ones have, like, such... They're, like, some of the bands that they're a part of's best work. Whereas I know Lizzy Borden can do better and has done better. You could listen to a good selection of the songs that we talked about tonight on our Spotify playlist of the week, including, I guess, our gems this week.
And the gem song.
And
actually, Dylan, I would like you on the Spotify playlist play something from Cinderella.
Okay.
Play something from
Murder Dolls.
that Joey Jordison is on.
I'll play something from the Murder
Play
Dolls.
something from Cinderella because Gary Corbett is on I think Crazy Nights maybe.
Okay.
And of course Dusty Hill, and throw a Metal Church song in there with
okay. I'm not as familiar with
their buddy Mike Howe
catalog,
on there, so throw one of them on there.
I will try.
It'll
and
be
find
different.
a good
We're
song.
not really big Metal Church guys here, but a lot of people love them and him, so we got to
that's a band I need to get into.
Because actually their last album I actually liked, so and I'm. Yeah, it was so.
But I really
throw at least one or
Okay.
So let's cover everybody we talked about.
All
tonight.
those will be on there.
New
as well.
Maiden song.
Okay.
Priest song.
The DGs.
Who else we talk about? The DGs. Yeah. Absolutely.
You should be dancing.
Yeah, for sure.
Volbeat with Don't Try to Be. So all those will be on the Spotify playlist of the week. Good luck, future Dylan, keeping those all straight. And if let us know what you thought of the albums that we talked about tonight. We would love to hear your opinions. Whether or not you thought Lizzy Borden's pop debut or pop turn was good, or
glam. Turn to glam.
What do you think of Satch in a band situation? What do you think of the non-radio hit Mr. Big songs? And of course, what do you think of a lot of the great stuff that King Diamond does?
Yeah, I love this topic because you look at these albums. I haven't listened to Chickenfoot since probably 2010. So the King Diamond one I probably listened to when we saw them. I'm a big closet Mr. Big fan, so I was very familiar with that album. And the Lizzy Borden, I kind of shuffle around with Lizzy Borden. But if I rank them, I'm going to go Chickenfoot 1, King Diamond 2, Mr. Big 3, Lizzy Borden 4. And it's just the Lizzy Borden, it's like I said, it's flatline. It misses that. But I own all these albums, and they are pretty much amazing front to back, except for a couple skippers. But like I said, a great topic. Just pulling albums out of your phone or out of your vinyl rack and just talking about them and seeing if anybody else has listened to them, and hopefully somebody out there comes out and say, hey, holy cow, I haven't listened to Mr. Big album in such a long time. But great topic.
All right, BC.
All right.
Wrap it up.
That was a fun night. If I was going to rank these, I'm definitely going to go with King Diamond first. Can you go wrong with King Diamond? Musically, it just fucking blows me. I love it. Vocally, sometimes it can be a little much. But musically, and then I'm going to Mr. Big second because it's been a long time since I've listened to that whole album. And I think I have to agree with Steve. Like when it came out, there was so much music up. I think now you can sit back and listen to some of these older albums more.
You're more willing to give them a chance.
You can concentrate more on them because back then you're all over the place. Then I'm gonna go. I gotta stick it for my boy. I'm gonna put Lizzy Borden in number 3rd. Guitar work on the album. Come on. And the most unfamiliar. The only reason it's last is because I probably listened to this the least of all of them throughout the years. Would be Chickenfoot.
All right, I enjoyed this episode. I really did, and even though Dylan and I were on vacation, I really, when we don't record, because we had a week off, I miss it. I'm so happy to be here tonight with my buddies and my son, and who is also a buddy. I do miss it when we don't do it. I'm like, shit, it's been literally almost 2 weeks since we recorded. I'm so happy to be back to do it. It was fun. It was cool. And it's just weird how shit worked out, how the albums were. 2 debut albums, 2 number 3 albums for the artists thing. And totally unplanned. And I literally just thought of that because I took a quick break because in between things here. And it just came to my mind. But it was cool. I enjoyed it. Like I said, like Dylan said before, we got the Spotify playlist. You're going to hear a lot of the stuff that we talked about tonight on there. For me to rank them, this is a tough ranking for me. I'm going to throw Lizzy Borden first because I totally forgot how much
it's a sympathy vote because we all thought it sucked.
Wow.
Because I totally forgot how
bad
much
it is.
I like the album. I honestly, I do. I like it. I like the...
I don't think it's bad.
I like I like Ultimate Sin. I think that it's got that wheelhouse sound for me. And even when this came out, it's another one that I didn't really embrace when it came out either. But then when I listened to it again, I'm like, wow, I forgot how fucking good this is. Because I picked it up on vinyl when I was replenishing my vinyl collection. And I listened to it, I'm like, wow, this is really good. And I think I like it because of its differentness from the rest of the stuff. Not that I don't love the other stuff, but it's that departure, I think, that I liked. I'm going to go second with Mr. Big. Because I totally missed the point on Mr. Big when this album first came out. Like I said before, it was just because I think there was just so much other stuff out there, and I never really gave it a chance and appreciated the musicality on this album. King Diamond next, of course. Sorry, Dylan. Because this is a metal album. I love the shredding, the time changes, and believe me, if I can get over the fucking vocals on Amar and Amarth, I can do King Diamond with my fucking eyes closed. So, I just love stuff like that. I love the time changes. I love the different... I love how he does a different voice for each character. The story is fucking insane if you're a horror fan. If you're a horror fan, just check out the story. It's fucked up. It's cool. It's like, why is this not a fucking movie? Chickenfoot... And this is a band I was really, really looking forward to when it came out. Like I said, I love, and it's not and there's no, even Last is not like, it's not like listen to the Kiss solo albums. You got Ace and Paul, and you got Gene somewhere, and then you got Peter. Like some people think way, way back. It's not like that. It's like they're all close together. Because as far as stars, I didn't do the stars on the King Diamond album. I got 7 for Lizzy Borden. I got 7 for Mr. Big, 7 for King Diamond. I got 7. I'm sorry. Jesus. I got 7 for Lizzy Borden, 7 for Mr. Big, and I got 6 for Chickenfoot.
Yeah.
Although Chickenfoot did have 11 songs on it, but I don't think I included. I don't know if well, 30 Days in the Hole. That's the whole other fucking story. But fun episode. I enjoyed it. Don't forget, you guys, if you're listening to this today, Rockin' Pod is this weekend. Today is the pre-party. Tomorrow is the big expo. If you're in the Nashville area, come down, check it out, say hello, shoot the shit, have a beer, all that kind of stuff. And check out the other podcasts that will be there as well. Check out BB on Grown Up Rock. He did 5150 last week. Even though BB's opinion does not reflect the
views of the Potter Than Hell
the views of the
podcast.
Potter Than Hell podcast as a whole.
True.
So just
True.
get through that. And so thank you guys for listening to us. Glad to be back. Welcome back, everybody. And we're working on the studio here. We're still back in the studio, our new studio here at the 62. So it's a work in progress. And thank you guys for listening. We love you guys. Check out these albums. Let us know what you think. Give us your rankings of these. And if you could do an episode with us and pick a random album, what album would you pick? So just throw that out there to us as well. So thank you guys. We love you. Take care of yourselves and each other. And we will see you next time. And there definitely will be a next time.